Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Skyline, and this is the Overwatch University Season 2 playoffs. I'm excited to be here. Joining me today is Matchroom. How's it going, Matchroom?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I am apologizing to everybody as the stream is starting up. There is a thunderstorm going on outside, so you guys, I'm going to be doing a little bit of the Breath of the Wild right now. You guys are going to be hearing all kinds of thunder and lightning going off in the background while I'm trying to make sure I'm not wearing any metal.
Great. I think I hear something. Is someone else there? I think I hear someone else.
I believe we are also joined today by Mukaibo, if I'm saying this properly.
Close enough.
Dude,
Close
I hate whenever
enough.
people say my name wrong, so Mukaibo?
Mukai Kubo.
Mukai Kubo. Okay, what's the breakdown on that name? It's too interesting. There has to be something behind it.
You would think that, but it's an incredibly nerdy name. It was the name of a fictional ship in a Star Trek novel 25 years ago. I am not even joking.
Oh, dude, you are
Damn.
talking my language right now.
That is-
What book?
Deep in the middle.
God, it's been 25 years. I'd have to go look it up. I know it was
Oh,
Next Generation, though.
That's acceptable. I'll allow it. I won't, like just as long as it's Next Generation. If you were gonna be like, well, it was like this great Voyager novel, I'd be like, bro, you and me, we were about to be friends, and then no longer.
It's like yeah, I like Star Trek. I like Star Trek, but I only like Voyager. Like that's the only one I like. You know.
Are you being facetious right now,
I'm
Skyline?
being, I'm being a character. I'm pretending to be someone who you hate.
Then you are exceeding expectation. But enough about Star Trek. We're going to be watching the first game of the night. That's going to be between Aether and First 48. It's either, you know, like some people put the AE on it, but it's
Ether, yeah.
It's Ether. Yeah, I know. But
Ether and
some
first, yeah.
some people say it differently. They do put the Aether on there, which makes it sound
I think
like
that's wrong, technically. I think
Well,
it's Ether. I learned this playing games where Ether shows up a lot and getting corrected a lot.
But see, then it always like there's always that person in chat that's like, no, you have to say it with the A as well.
It's no. They'll like make up another sound. It's like people who get on you when you try to say foreign, like anglicized foreign words. It's like, oh no, you say that R with a R sound. It's like that doesn't exist in English. It's like no, it's ether with a E in it. Like that doesn't exist. I can't do that physically with my tongue.
See, I'm from the South. We just draw every vowel out. So technically it's Aether. That's way. Gotta throw it all on there.
Aether, y'all.
It's Aether, y'all.
Yeah.
Don't you know? It's the magic goop. Keeps you going.
I've got to say, you have some serious force of will to be living. Well, I'm sure that you have lots of southern accents around you, and you don't pick it up very much. Like you can't really tell.
I hear it every once in a while. But see, I've had the benefit. I went from Alabama to Texas.
Oh, yeah, those are worlds different. That's pork to brisket territory.
Yeah, so you go from people talking a lot like more like this whenever they just run all their words together into just more of a southern accent. So it's easier to pick up and distinguish. But for our team Ether, they consist of Faux Falsetto, Ponyboy, Praise Be His, Just Joe, Juicy, and Threes. Whereas the first 48 consists of Sleepy, Polio, Anonymous, which is a great name, Gym Leader, Resilient, and Nija. I believe
Nija 123098 rolls off the tongue. Some great names. So yeah, we'll be getting into the game pretty soon. I mean, we just had that exciting PTR patch come out with Doomfist. Everyone's still going nuts. It was a couple days ago. Have either of you been able to try out Doomfist yet?
Only very briefly.
I've been just sitting in PTR like spamming Doomfist every game. People are like, please, can you let me play Doomfist? Can you give me a turn? I'm like, no, I'm playing this hero. He's super fun. I recommend anyone who hasn't played him yet or who's only played him a little bit to go and play him because he's the most fun hero for me right now in Overwatch. Just the way they have his mechanics down, it's just, oh man, so crisp, so clean. It feels powerful.
I love the fact that Blizzard, as they killed my Reinhardt, gave me another thing to punch things in the face. So that's kind of the way it's going to go for me, is now that Reinhardt is RIP, I'm going to have to make the change over, essentially become a Doomfist main. It's not my fault. This is what Blizzard forced me to do.
Doomfist is, yeah, there's going to be a lot of Doomfist mains. It's going to be the next Genji main.
So, okay, what are you guys' opinions? I know the new voice lines are really good, but everybody's all like, oh, it should have been Terry Crews. I really like the voice lines.
Yeah. I'm the same way because it seems like, well, people didn't really know what his character is going to be like, right? But looking at his character now, he seems much more like, Terry Crews would be too intense and too like, go get him, like the current guy, you can tell he kind of is more humble. He's more like down to earth, and I think that the voice actor that they have, he has kind of I forgot his name. His name is difficult to remember, but I thought he did a good job of portraying the character that they had Doomfist be. And so I understand now that I know Doomfist's character more, why they didn't choose Terry.
Okay. I just want to know though, okay, everybody's watched the video for him coming out. I'm just going to make the assumption that if you're in this, then you've watched the video, the little anime thing. If you have not, go check it out. It's like 2 minutes. It's great. It's like the intro to Doomfist. How bad are those prison guards that they let a dude punch through a wall punch a wall over and over and over, break it down, and then it's like he just strolls out of one, like he's like punches out the back of the wall and then strolls out. I guess there were no more walls after that. Like
he was like on the out face. He was on the external wall.
And I guess he just walked up to everything else and punched it in the face. That's the like most manly / least logical break out of jail scenario I've ever heard of.
Absolutely. It does sound like both teams are ready, so I will briefly say this league, the playoffs are formatted as 4 different brackets, one for each quarter of the league, divisions 1 through 6, divisions 7 through 12, etc. This is bracket D. These are divisions 18 through 22, and both of these teams are, for average SRs, on the gold-plat borderline. So we've got this as a first round match. After this, we're going to have Fighting Mongooses versus a team that's starting to play right now. They're up in bracket B, and that'll be a second round match that we bring to you after this. But this match, first round action in bracket D, we're about ready to go. Anything before we get the players started?
Nice. No, let's get right into it. I feel like we've heard of the Fighting Mongooses before. Have we seen them before, Matchroom? Maybe in I think in a cup or something.
We've encountered Fighting Mongooses in several of the community events. I know that they're a group that's trying their hardest to work their way up, fighting through. I want to say that we cast them in the first season of University.
I think so. Yeah, they were pretty fair. I'm interested to see if they move up, if they have been able to improve, get themselves to the next level. But yeah, players are in, players are ready. Let's get the show on the roll. Let's watch some Overwatch.
I mean, I know everybody wants to know about Texas accents and Star Trek, but let's get down to what everybody really wants, which is some Overwatch action.
Well, it looks like we're going to get it.
Oh, and on the home of Overwatch itself, good old Kings Row, it is the de facto map and the best way to start an event. Everybody comes into here, everybody knows this map, and I really am excited to see what these teams are going to bring in. Especially in this bracket, you'll see different styles and different meta production than what you normally see. Like as teams,
yeah, it's super fun. It's not just people. Anyone who's been watching pro matches lately sort of has an idea of how they work now.
And I mean that's a big part of it, is getting down the feel and the meta, but at a certain point, kind of breaking out of it and doing what you think is best and what fits in your team. And these, whenever you have these events that are just starting off where players are just now coming in, you can get a lot more of that. And that's what I like, where you'll see comps that you just don't normally see. Like right now, we're seeing a Reaper and a Mei run out together, and as part of a defense strategy, which is very, very interesting.
Huh. Yeah, I am interested to see what they do with that. Certainly some sort of close-up sort of thing. I'm gonna replug my keyboard real quick. Here, keep them busy, Matchroom. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
All right, well then I can definitely do that, because on the other side of this, we've got first 48. It looks like they're actually going to be coming out the gates with this 15 seconds before the match starts up. They're going to be running a Winston Diva, bringing in the Genji as well. So they're going to be going pretty dive heavy, following it in with the Lucio. Whereas on the backside of this, they're going to have a Soldier and a Zenyatta picking off and trying to put in a little bit more damage on the side of this. So let's see how this comes out. Gates are now open and we're initiating into our first fight. Timer's underway, 4 minutes. Let's see how this first push comes out for the first 48. Taking this upper pathway, coming to back through. Mei tries to block it off. That was really nice attempt at that, but everybody still managed to make it out. And look, first 48 decides to split itself apart. Some people on this upper balcony trying to fire in. Looks like Winston, which is being played by Resilient, is thinking about coming forward. Now everybody's finally recouped back on top of this balcony. It's a slow and steady push. They're making sure that they're all together. Looks like they're going to death ball and jump down.
They have to jump in. Yeah, they're taking too much damage. They can't win the long range fight. 40 seconds already burned off the clock, and they haven't really pushed in too hard yet, Matchroom.
I know. It's like they're waiting to pull the trigger, and I don't know. Maybe they're trying to go for a pick, but right now, Juicy's just doing a good job on Reinhardt, protecting everybody around him. So this forced his first 48 to have to retreat back as they're starting to take some casualties.
Oh, nice final little pick off there by Just Joe. Maybe the soldier will get out. Yep, so Ninja rather does get out. Yeah, they're just too timid. They're just too timid.
Yeah, if you're going to be pulling this dive comp, which is whenever you're running Winston and Diva, you've got to execute with it. You just have to go in, look for somebody, everybody jump in onto that target and try to get something out of it. Looks like First 48's trying to take this back path, coming through the hotel lobby again. Ninja's holding the upper way.
Oh, but Fox, he's right there to harass Sleepy. Of course, to Wraith form out. Can they catch him, though? He's not quite out in time. Lots of damage being put up, but nice reaction to his team. Saving him in the end. No one down yet, but the attackers still can't quite find a way in.
But there's so much ult that's building up on the side of defenders right now. Just Joe's about to have his. Ponyboy already has his, and Mercy already has the res. So no matter how this first attack goes in, they're going to be pushing into a lot of ultimates. Right now, Ninja has an ultimate on the side of First 48, but doesn't really have the opportunity to use it.
Oh my goodness. What a death blossom. I mean, was that really... Probably not very necessary, but still, just killing 4, why not? Oh,
they have so many other ultimates to work with.
I mean, yeah, they might as well. They've been burning so much time with the ultimates at 100%. Of course, you don't gain ult charge if you're at 100%, so...
The real problem for First 48 right now is that a minute, or actually 2 minutes and 20 seconds have ticked off the clock. We're now to about a minute and 30.
They haven't gotten on the point yet.
They haven't even touched it. So they're going to be running in. Juicy's just about that ultimate. They finally come in, starting being aggressive with it.
They jump in, Threes goes down, no more Zenyatta anymore for the defenders. And let's see what this Visor can get. It needs to go huge, takes out Fox. No more Reaper, but still the Resurrect is available. It takes up 2. So this is back to a 6v6. Holo manages to kill the Mercy through the Zenyatta ultimate. That's pretty big. That's not going to be very much healing, as all they have is freeze for the Zenyatta Orban. 6v5, the attackers with one more might have this.
Earthshatter does drop, doesn't get anything really picked off as Juice goes down. Everybody's being cleared off the point. Finally, it looks like the attackers are starting to get it. Ponyboy is running in with Mercy right next to him, but Diva is just going to force both of them back with the defense matrix well positioned there. Ponyboy can't do anything at all. The whole time this is starting to tick up 2/3 now. There should be a full claim now coming up for First 48 as we're going to move into the streets phase of Kings Row.
Yes, so they do just take it. I mean, clearly they had nothing to be scared of that entire time. They're spending 3 minutes being timid, being scared, sitting back, and all they had to do is jump in. They immediately took the fight in their very first try.
Something to keep an eye on, though, is look at False Falsetto moving across the side. Death Blossom is up and ready, doing a really long flank. Looks like going to try to come down and jump down from this upper window.
This is so dangerous
right onto this.
For the attackers. This jump down, Death Blossom. Here we go. What's it going to get? Oh, look at that damage. It takes out 3, 4. And why not? I'll kill a Diva too. Get an assist on that. Falsetto with the sextuple kill, basically, I'm going to call it. It's 6k.
Falsetto has been the key point for the defense right now. Anytime we've seen the kill feed really explode, it's been based off of his plays. He's been doing a good job in getting in positions to make very good use of this and build ult charge, which is notoriously hard for Reaper to do. See a side flank coming in again, trying to find this Winston, instantly getting hit with a whole bunch of defense matrix. Juicy comes up to help him.
Falsetto takes out Rosie, and with that, no Winston for this team means they don't have any very good initiation. They have the Diva, it's okay. But still, Falsetto, he's just sitting straight up in their face, and there isn't enough damage to take him out. Ninja, he has to be more on point with his shots, I think. Finally takes out Fa. Good shots there. He does have a Visor left, and once Diva's defense matrix goes down, this Visor has potential to do a ton of damage.
Sings and Zenyatta Transcendence coming out. Heart is slowly starting to move, about to push through the second turn there. Fights happening all across the backside. Mercy's looking for the res, does manage to pick it up. Gets 3 back up on this. Resilient is trying his best, having to retreat back out of this. You can see Polo is trying to get some kills as well. This is turning into a very, very chaotic fight. But the cart is still slowly ticking away, moving forward, but finally it is getting stopped as Anonymous does get on top.
There's just Joe left. It's just Joe. That's all there is to stop that cart, and it's not even Joe anymore. He's going to go down to the Winston Sparks. Falsetto. He does have another death. He has another Death Blossom. We've seen what these can do before, but he doesn't have that great of an angle to use it this time.
He also did give away his positions. Got a Genji that's right on top of him. Not everybody's going to be able to come in and actually put any form of defense on the second point push. So now 2 minutes are back on the clock. We've got a little bit of a fight that's breaking up. A couple of kills going back and forth. Cart is still pushing down the way. This is where it's going to be the hardest for the attackers, though. As everybody knows, now spawns are really beneficial for the defenders. And attackers are going to have to try to figure out how to come around this first corner, as there are multiple tanks just sitting around it, making sure to stall it out. And again, it's just Joe.
There isn't very much to stop Ponyboy right now. The Soldier. There comes the Winston shield. D.Va's been using the defense matrix off cooldown, but it's still not enough with no suit anymore. It's all up to Ponyboy. He has just full range. He's doing so much damage. Attack Visor comes out as well. Why not? Really just cleans this up. It didn't get too much use out of the Attack Visor. That being said, but still, 1 minute 30 seconds left. It's only 1 or 2 more pushes.
Exactly, and for one of those pushes, False Falsetto is going to be sitting up on top of this with the Death Blossom set and ready to go, as well as Praise Be His sitting on top of a Mercy Res.
Look at the long
A lot of work's going to have to be coming out from First 48. They have to essentially team wipe everyone to make sure that they get this Mercy.
Coming out from behind, Death Blossom takes out 2. Defense Matrix no longer up for D.Va. As a result, that's the cleanup. Self-destruct actually used for D.Va. All right. Takes out Just Joe. Oh my gosh, that's surprising that it took out somebody. And she gets out alive.
We're under a minute now, though. This push is being held right around the outside of this corner. They're having to push in with it. They're trying to find some type of path, going for the side push. Nanamus coming through, and here we go. Sound barrier's out, and here we go. This is going to probably be one of the last fights of the round.
Praise goes down. No mercy means no res, and this started at 5v6 to begin with. The defenders are at a pretty big disadvantage. Tranquility as well will let the attackers push through with total impunity. Polo, he has the blade out. Can he go on Ponyboy? No, he can't. Ponyboy takes out the Genji early. And the blade completely, it just didn't do anything there. I think Winston's going to go down too through his ultimate. It's just a couple more health points. No, he managed to get it alive, huh?
Just Joe has been living on top of this payload, not letting it come forward. We're down in 10 seconds remaining. Defenders are starting to get rallied back up as everybody is spawning back in. Falsetto is going for another Death Blossom and gets 2. Overtime is now ticking into effect. First 48 is trying their hardest just to get on top of this payload.
Well, that D.Va Bomb needed to take out at least 3 or 4. Gets none, and as a result, Nanamus, it's just not going to be enough. Yeah, there's a visor on the Soldier, but again, he needs to get like a 6K with that. It's not going to happen. And the Overwatch timer, the overtime timer, it'll burn down. And that'll be the round. So definitely very beatable. Very beatable. That's a little bit below par for King's Row to have gotten only that far, but still, we've seen full holds on the first point. We've seen full holds in streets. So still, very good chance right now for Aether to bring it back.
Well, we talked about this earlier and how long First 48 took in that initial push. It seemed like they were afraid to just pull the trigger and get in on fight on the point whenever they were going for that attack. And you have to wonder what if they had that extra 1 to 2 minutes that they just kind of spent in that early section, what they could have done and how much further they could have pushed the cart. But now everything is going to come back onto them and see how this defense comes into effect. So with this, we're starting to see it. Everybody floating on top of their heroes. We're in the first 10 seconds though, so everything could be troll, but these look pretty standardized that could be coming out these gates.
Well, I'll have to see what Aether chooses to run for this defense. They'll be coming out of the gate with this. Indeed, Polo will be playing McCree. He'll be pretty strong against, all-in divey type of strats, or even partial dive. It's pretty decent against. Not choosing to go for the Soldiers, so less damage on this team. And in fact, if you look at this team comp, they don't have, they have the double DPS. So I think the McCree Soldier combo is most at home here on King's Row.
Well, specifically on how they're positioning it as well. You can see that right now Anonymous and Resilient are down at the bottom, providing some protection from Polo, who's probably going to be trying to provide like cover for them if any flankers come in. Meanwhile, we have Soldier that's up on the top, and we have Mercy that's just kind of hanging off on the side positioning. I really like how they're kind of playing this out and they're getting the hit scan. I really do like Polo's movement up to the top a lot better. Get these hit scan up here, get the damage boost from Mercy, let them get full rain on anybody that's trying to get in on this point and fire out. With that, we're going to have to see how Falsetto has now made the change off of Reaper, which he was having a lot of success with, and now is running the Genji.
Falsetto needs to find some targets with Genji. He needs to be very careful of this McCree as well. Already they come in through apartments. Resilient. He took a lot of damage early on, but just gonna be healed up. He has the shield to hide behind. Need to be very careful. This Roadhog, he has no shields in his way. He can get a free hook here. Just hooks the Diva, who is right in front of him. So not a ton of utility out of that, but in the back, Soldier has a lot of pressure being put on him as well. Already the attackers have gotten quite a few kills, but can they kill the Mercy? Yes, and I think with that, this point is going to flip over.
I have to really give it to Juicy inside this. Good target selection, making sure to disrupt all of this positioning that we were talking about beforehand. All of these hit scan players that were in these nice raised positions to fire down into. Juicy was making use of Winston, jumping up, forcing them back down into the rest of the fight that just allowed everyone else to kind of jump on them as they came in. Point is still ticking up. I don't think that we're going to see enough time for first 48 to come around this corner and really contest. They're trying to push in, which could put them in an awkward spot. They instantly see it tick over, now pulling back over, taking up the first defense right around this corner inside of the street's face. It's going to be a little bit before we see anything, as the cart is making that slow and steady climb out of the garage.
Bit of an awkward pickoff as the Soldier player took out Praise, the attacking Mercy, but you see he got up just fine. Ooh, Falsetto, his Death Blossoms, they were big, but his swords apparently just as big. Sleepy and Anonymous get taken out right off the bat. And I mean, that was like a 1v6 almost. He jumped into the blade. That was very courageous.
Falsetto has been an X factor inside this. His success has really allowed for Ether to really come through. Still alive, pushing in again, pushing into 4 people kind of by himself. Look how much further forward he is than the rest of his team. Really fighting and trying to get more kills. Already got 2 of them out of there, going for a couple more. This is just really, really problematic for first 48 because look, they're almost pushed up to the second point. And right after that, it's maybe 15, 20 meters is all they have to push to get the win inside of this round.
The crazy part about what Fa is doing right now is he's doing this, he's dancing around this McCree like it's nothing. Polo needs to get a beat on this Genji. He needs to focus a little bit more. Just like he did to Juice right there. Juice jumps in, flashbang, bam, dead. That's what McCree's for. They need to get that value out. Attack Advisor should be cleaning this up as well for the defenders.
Trying their best to stay alive right now. You can see that Resilient is just trying to boop everybody off of the cart. Buy as much time as they can, but it's 5 minutes and 20 seconds that the defenders have to hold. And look at this, it's maybe 10 meters to come in through here. Self-destruct does come out, doesn't really net too much of everything. Ults are flying out like crazy. Transcendence is sitting right on top of the cart, but it's refusing to move forward. There's just body and tanks galore right on top of it.
Falsetto with blade number 2. Takes out Polo. Through, he actually reflects Polo's Deadeye. And I think, I mean, the attackers, they have quite a bit of an advantage here, but still, there's a Diva left on the point. There's a Lucio. Well, maybe not so much a Lucio anymore. Just a pile of Diva. And with that, Rosie can contest. But still, they need to do a lot of work right now to get back into this. Either does.
Polo has to stay on top of this cart. Last person for his team. Tries to blink away. It's not going to work. And with this, we see Ether picking up the win inside of King's Row.
Falsetto, just really the man of the round. He had so many huge death blossoms on attack, on defense rather, and all of his swords were great on attack as well. I've got to say they need to find a way to stop him.
And running the Power Rangers Genji outfit. Good call, Falsetto. Juicy actually picking up the play of the game with this, with all of those nice, really good plays coming in. I think it's getting a kill onto the Mercy there as it looked like she was trying to come in. Just a lot of just Tesla coil damage coming out. Sometimes it doesn't have to be flashy, it just has to be good. And with that, Juicy shows up. Hey, Falsetto, you're going to get all those Death Blossoms, all those cool Genji kills? I'll just Tesla coil down some stuff and get some kills too.
First 48 needs to focus targets down more. Too many times they had heroes dive into their team who just didn't ever die. We saw, for example, in that play of the game at the end there, the Winston player jumped in and he just did whatever he wants, stayed alive. I think that there needs to be a little bit more synergy between Polo and Nija on the DPS. They need to be focusing a little bit more.
Most definitely. It comes down to an execution side of this. Whenever you're seeing Falsetto being able to push into multiple people by himself, means that something's going wrong in either your support tank line or your damage, just to allow that to happen. Falsetto, specifically with that Genji, was playing so far forward. You want to do things perhaps like we were seeing some nice reflections coming out from Falsetto, specifically on stun grenades as well. It's where you might have to start looking to the sides, stun grenading the ground, trying to catch Falsetto instead of throwing the stun grenade directly at him. But we are going to be looking at a match 2, which is going to be decided between Ilios and Lijiang Tower. Teams are working it out right now, and we will get right back into the next round.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be going to Ilios for this one. And the other thing I want to note from that match that just ended, a lot of the time First 48's D.Va was allowing herself to get separated from the squishies. And it's okay, but every time that a big Death Blossom came out, it's because D.Va was out of position and he was able to just jump on the squishies and Death Blossom.
Yeah, it really seemed like they were focusing Anonymous, who was their D.Va player, to really sit on the payload 90% of the time instead of opting into supports, which I agree. Whenever you put the D.Va on payload defense or payload stoppage, it really doesn't allow you to have the tools for defense matrix to stop that Death Blossom. It's a really good call out, Mukai.
We were seeing that First 48, especially, it was very obvious in the early game how they were a little bit afraid to play aggressively. Now, you have to play very aggressively with Winston D.Va. The reason being is that D.Va has a very limited amount of juice for her defense matrix. And what kept happening is they'd be sitting there marching up like it was a Reinhardt, for example, when it's only a D.Va. The D.Va would run out of juice. And once that happened, there was really nothing. The Winston can't pop the Winston can pop his bubble, but it's very high cooldown, right? So there was suddenly no defense anymore for First 48, and that's what made it so easy to jump in and do a Death Blossom, to just do attack visor and wipe everyone. So they certainly seemed like they need to have more synergy between the players and the composition that they're running.
Most agreed. And for everybody that is tuning in right now, we are just getting underway with some rounds for the Overwatch University League. If you guys are unfamiliar with Overwatch University, it is a phenomenal community of people trying to help each other, trying to improve in everything Overwatch related. If you haven't, make sure check out their Discord. Make sure you check out the subreddit for them. It's just a great overall community that's super welcoming. There is no such thing as a dumb question. You can ask whatever it is that you want to know to try to improve as a player, and people will be willing to come in and help you out. I mean, what more can you potentially ask for? Nice people and getting better at Overwatch.
Yeah, the only thing that's dumb is not asking the question at all, as my first grade teacher used to tell me all the time.
This is true. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think. There's got to be some really dumb Overwatch questions. Mukai, Skyline, surely you guys got one or two of them. We gotta think on this one. Come back.
Where's
Twitch
the
chat.
op? I mean, I use op in all my games.
That's a good question. Twitch chat, help us out with that. What are some dumb Overwatch questions? And let's see if some of our Overwatch University people can help out or look at you sideways. Let's see how it goes. We're here on Ilios. Oh, I love Ilios. Just like, especially on this map, because you can like look out at all the boats that are kind of docked up on the pier. Just the water looks really nice and relaxing.
I do certainly like the look of Ilios. Playing on Ilios can be very stressful though, because of all the tight corners, and it's just so easy to die in this map, so easy to get out of position. So let's see how these teams deal with it, as Ponyboy decides to play Tracer this time, leading the charge for his team.
Falsetto is sitting back on that Reaper that we saw a lot of success with beforehand. Teams are coming around the corners, starting to look at each other, and Juicy jumps up top, just laying Tesla cannon damage right into everybody right below him.
Zenyatta. Oh, but doesn't finish him off in time. Falsetto, though, gets the trade off on Ninja. No more Soldier. That's a big chunk of damage gone right now for this blue team. And as the shield comes down, no more Reaper. Falsetto, he does go down. And the point flips over just like that. No contesting from the Tracer player.
Seeing first point control coming over to First 48. This is a breath of fresh air. You know that they're wanting to come back and get a strong win here after they got taken out in the first round. Trying to come through. Actually, no. First 48 picked up the first round, didn't they? No.
Yeah, Ether picked up the first round, but Polo, he decided that, hey, Reaper went pretty well for Falsetto last time. I'm gonna play Reaper as well. So let's see. It is the battle of the Reapers, I suppose, as Winston jumps in and, hey, say Falsetto, he won the battle with, I guess, the help of Zenyatta. That wasn't very fair. Zarya ultimate comes in, comboed with the pulse bomb. See you later. And there's no mercy to resurrect that either.
Just nice all around. That was a second fight Graviton Surge coming through. See everybody from either getting some control over this point, probably going to flip over inside of their favor. There's nobody around that can really contest inside of it. 47% to 0% now. So we see first 48 regrouping, everybody spawning back up. No real changes are coming in, but we can see Polo is sneaking up to having an ult as well as Faux Falsetto. So let's see how these Death Blossoms come into effect in these next fights.
Well, I do think that the Reaper is a pretty interesting pick for this team. They don't have, they're trying to run an aggressive lineup, but they don't have a ton of mobility. They just sort of have to slowly walk up to you, see if they can do it. We've seen that this team has had some issues being aggressive walking up before, but hey, looks like Juicy is going to give them the excuse to as he jumps into 6 with not enough support, gets taken out immediately, but Falfa settled from the back, another amazing Death Blossom. Gets 2 that time, he tries to get out, and I think he makes it, as Zarya helps him out at the last second with the shield.
We're seeing a nice response coming back. Polo's throwing down the Death Blossom as well. Doesn't net as much. On this, Anonymous is finally starting to come in and really put some focus onto Faux Falsetto, making sure that this Death Blossoms aren't as accurate. Rez coming back up. Praise be His gets 3 back in. So we have a big contest that's happening right on top of the gap point.
Yeah, Mercy is just so strong. We saw that Resurrect got up 3 players. That's such a, I mean, that's just massive. Once you have a 3-player turnaround like that, Falsetto, he's back up, he's on the point. He needs to land these shots though, and a double team taken out. So despite getting quite a lot of percentage, 75%, point does turn over the first 41.
But there was a lot of point that was capped still while that fight came off after that res. Almost an extra 20 to 30% coming through. So we're looking at a very close game right now for this first round, as we're seeing control coming right now for Force 48. Everybody's coming back in 64% to 74%. Ponyboy is sitting on ult, and just Joe is sitting on ult. So keep an eye out for that Graviton Surge Pulse Bomb combo that could be coming out for everybody that's pressuring in this point.
I like the Ferris, which was getting a little bit dangerous up close with the Reaper. Falsetto, he's playing the Farah now. He has a pretty good angle on it. Let's see, doing ton of damage. Takes out Sleepy, of course, with the damage boost. Farah, just so dangerous. And the only range, really, from first 48 is their soldier player. Oh, the Pulse Bomb doing so much damage, but there's so much pressure on the soldier player. That's the issue. Diva's self-destruct, needs to get something, needs to get at least one. But no, it's not going to, and Ponyboy cleaning up with his friend Falsetto. Just to flip over once again, but still, there is one more chance for Force 48 to come back and retake the point.
75% to 99%. You can see everybody right now is starting to get really cautious about this. Whoever essentially wins the next fight is probably going to win this game. As we're going to see an initiation coming out at closer, it gets to about 93%. Sleepy and Polio are playing the front line. Polo has the ult ready to come in here, looking for this.
He can use it. He can get 2 here, but Rocket Barrage takes out 2 first. Shield on Falsetto, make sure that he's safe throughout that entire thing. A great Pulse Bomb as well, and there's the Resurrect. That'll absolutely just turn this fight all the way wrong. Polo needs to get like a infinity kill right now. He needs to get like a 6K. It's not going to happen. All we have left is the Pilot Diva and a Lucio to stall the point out. They won't be lasting for very long as the overtime timer will burn down. And this is some stall, but is it in vain?
We're seeing trying to get some kills coming off of it. Transcendence did come out, but it's just person after person that's just trying to contest right now. And I don't think it's going to be enough. And no, it is not enough. Here we go. We move into the second round of this. Really curious to see how this plays through, but that was very close. 99% to 99% for overtime victory.
That was a lot closer than the Kings Row game would have made you sort of predict, I think. Now,
yes.
I do think so. Notice that there's the Mercy being played consistently by Team Ether in the red here, and it's been so effective. I think that Lucio Zenyatta is certainly a strong pair, but if you look at the team that they're running with it, I think you need to play very all in to play Lucio and Zenyatta. If you don't, then you see what we're seeing here, where you just kind of grind through the fight a little bit, and praise be his is just getting too much value out of the Resurrect. They can't grind these fights out. They can't take the longer fights.
Well, with a name like Praise Be His, you have to play some type of angelic or good character, I'm willing to bet. So Mercy's probably going to be the predominant thing we see coming out from Praise Be His. Nice hook coming up from Just Joe, but Resilient does manage to jump back through. Doesn't fall into the pit. There is no Sparta happening right now. everybody's having to retreat from Ether as a strong push is coming up from First 48.
First 48 is pushing relatively strong. Polo pushes in maybe a little bit too strongly. Falsetto takes him out. Point does go blue as they managed to box out Ether for long enough to take the point. Already 6-7%. Even if they lose the fight here, it's okay, but it doesn't look like they even will. As a nice boop on Just Joe will finish that fight off. I think that Ether needs to regroup now.
I really like the way Nisha and Sleepy are playing the backside of this point together. They're staying really close to each other, making sure to support each other as needed. So they're kind of the range facility inside this, really making sure Falsetto has a rough time playing the Sphera, trying to find those rockets, but as soon as she comes around, instantly getting hit with Discord and Soldier shots.
He has been having a little bit of a difficult time getting in. In fact, the Winston shield isn't doing him any favors either. No Pharah, speaking of that. Resurrect, though, let's see what the Pharah can do now. Almost up to Rocket Barrage. 1 or 2 more rockets away, but man, he just can't catch a break. Everyone is focusing Falsetto as they very well should. He's been having such a huge impact this entire time. Just Joe, though, it's kind of up to him now. He does have the whole hook. He will have the hook up pretty soon. Doesn't find a good opening to use it, however. Praise be his. She gets a kill. The Mercy gets a pistol kill on Anonymous.
Baby Diva versus Mercy. That's the way it's gotta go. That's the fight for the ages right there. Super scrawny girls running around with pistols trying to kill each other, but we were finally getting a fight coming out from First 48. Resilient is onto the point. Trying to... There's a lot of contests coming out. Ether's pushing in. Look at this.
Oh, nice hook on Anonymous. Goodbye. Gym leader is just going to do a little bit of stalling. And see how fast it takes them to clean him up. Not too long. Oh, but hey, Resilient as well. If they can get up this up to like 85, 86. All right, 86. That makes it pretty difficult to retake if First 48 does manage to take this point back.
Puts a lot of pressure onto Ether. That means they can't essentially lose a fight. The moment they lose a fight, this game could be over. So they have to hard hold this now. And Praise Be His is sitting on res. Juicy does have the self-destruct coming out. And Threes does have Transcendence. So they have the tools to survive for quite a while. And they have Just Joe sitting blocking this Roadhog, so potentially hook somebody into the nether.
First 48 has quite a bit as well. Let's see, the self-destruct looks very dangerous. It gets Gym Leader. Okay, not bad. Lucio goes down.
But Juicy, whenever he went with the self-destruct, wasn't paying attention and threw himself into the pit.
Oh, gotta focus a little bit more on that. Falsetto, he's the last one alive here. And as he comes out of Wraith form, he picks off. Point will flip over, although it took them a little while to do that. They weren't immediately back on the point. Only 10 seconds remaining. But it'll be very difficult for either to mount any sort of retake offense.
GCR was thinking about doing the jump in 95%. Somebody has to make it in and contest. Look at this really nice self-destruct coming out. Transcendence comes through.
Oh, the self-destruct knocked off the Zenyatta.
There's no one in to make it onto this point. It is free and clear. It's just Juicy. Can the jump make it in time? No, it cannot. So with this, we are now 1-1 between First 48 and Ether.
Yeah, they got knocked into the pit by the self-destruct. That was pretty sick. Pretty unfortunate. You see, I mean, Zenyatta, he's invulnerable, but vulnerability, apparently, that policy doesn't quite cover bottomless pits of death.
I mean, you gotta feel bad. So, okay, you're essentially already a floating robot, right? If you're playing Zenyatta, you blow the Transcendence so that way you can't really be killed, but you get knocked into a pit. You have to be looking at your legs the whole way down like, why don't you just make me float higher? Instead, while you're falling into the deep, dark pit to die.
That is a good point. If Zenyatta can, I mean, maybe it's just too much work. Maybe his floaty powers only cover. Actually, he's like a hover. He's like a hovercraft, right? He just hovers above the ground. He can't fly.
Calling it right now. Zenyatta is next gen hoverboard. That's essentially what's happening.
Dude, I'd ride Zenyatta. That
phrasing?
No. No. Sleepy goes down. No Zenyatta right now already for First 48. Pony Boy as well, getting a kill on to Polo. Ether looking really good right now. As well, there isn't really too much point of stalling right now. I think that Nija's just gonna have to get back. Yep, runs away. Anonymous gets taken out in the crossfire. Can Pony Boy secure this final kill? Yes, he can. Look at that. That's a good 15 seconds gained for his team.
Nice stall coming out inside of that. You can see that everybody right now from the First 48 waiting, trying to get everybody back together. There's not a real hard push they can put in until everybody gets in. So that was essentially a free 15 to 20% they managed to buy for themselves. Falsetto is sitting on about 50% ult charge, but Ponyboy is sitting on 72. Whereas on the flip side of that, first 48 doesn't have anybody really over 45%. It's going to be really rough for them. They're going to have to make sure that they build this up and get some victories inside this and some kills.
Ponyboy's at 85% ultimate charge. He almost has the rocket barrage, but he's taking quite a bit of he took quite a bit of damage with no healer inside. Ninja manages to take him out this time, but on the point, that's all Falsetto and Juicy. As Prapy is still staying alive. And the ultimate, yeah, yes, ultimate does come up. Ponyboy gets up as well. Falsetto clears off the point, and I think that's just about it. As Rose Resilient, last one to fall. 50% on the board right now for Ether. And remember, this is the last map that they have to win.
They're really doing a good job right now, holding this down. Ponyboy is sitting right on top of this barrage for this next assault that's going to be coming through. You have to see First 48 play this really, really carefully on how they decide to make this approach, because they might be walking directly into a barrage.
Barrage is very strong. Ninja is around on that Soldier 76 to put pressure onto the Pharah, but it's Juicy's job to keep him down. Juicy, though, can't quite find him. Rocket Barrage, oh, look at that beautiful angle. Takes out just one, but just that one was enough. And also the zoning effect, forcing the rest of First 48 to scatter and just have terrible positioning. Polo's still on the point. Decided to use his shift, but he won't be alive for very long as Ponyboy finishes him off, and Rose needs to get back. 92%. I guess they can't get back. They have to charge in right now.
Sleepy agrees, blows Transcendence, comes in. We're on top of the point, trying to keep everybody alive. Ponyboy is just on top, raining rockets down, looking for anything, and Freeze responds in kind, healing everybody up with Transcendence. You can see that Rose Resilient just being bounced around.
Bit too short. Zarya ultimate catches, yeah, alright, catches a couple people. Why not? It's just, this is the final fight anyway, potentially. You have to use it. Polo, though, on the point, gets a double with the Death Blossom. Hey, Death Blossom is so much stronger now with the new Reaper passive, but hey, there's more to talk about as Mercy. She gets a triple res. I was saying how good Mercy is in these longer, grindier fights, and we just keep seeing it over and over and over again. It does so much value for Team Ether.
Well, we were seeing just a little bit of a disconnect, I think, that's coming through right now between First 48's tank line. Usually whenever you're jumping into the point to start this contention, Anonymous and Juicy really need to stay together. Or, I'm sorry, Resilient and Anonymous need to really stay together and kind of come in and be this paired damage. What we're seeing right now is Resilient is coming in way before the Diva, so Winston's instantly dying as everybody turns to focus onto him, and it's forcing Anonymous to come in. I don't know if they're just having a disconnect on choosing an approach path, or if they're calling out different attack times to go in, or if Anonymous's boosters are just down. I don't know exactly what's happening, but you can really see that Resilient is pushing in far further than Anonymous is, and kind of going down much, much quicker. And if they're wanting to make this dive work, they have to make sure that the Winston survives through that first push.
Well, let's see how they synchronize together this time. Resilient looks like he wants to go in. Indeed, he does. The shield is down. The gauntlet is thrown, but where's the Diva? Not there to help him that time either, as Diva was all on the point. And yeah, definitely, I see what you're saying, Natch. They need to be a little bit more synchronized. Although, that being said, they are pushing out to the point. This is a real bloodbath right now. Just Joe gets the first kill. Ponyboy, looks like Team Ether. They're coming up on top. Already a pulse bomb. That was very early. Ponyboy putting out a ton of damage. Great job by him this fight.
Ether's trying to get control over this point, about to cap it over and flip it into their favor, so they get first percents on there. They are ahead right now 2-1, so if they get this round, everything's going to be golden for them. This is really a lot of pressure onto First 48, trying to play for their tournament life inside of, well, I wouldn't say tournament life, but they just want to show up on the first day and really impress. So they want to get the win inside of this. You can see Resilience playing, trying to find some picks inside of this. Tesla Coil's going crazy, pushing everybody back out of there, but Winston jumps back in as we see Juicy say, nope, I'm in here and I'm here to mess up this fight.
Again, no Diva mech available. Falsetto jumps down, finds the perfect opening to use that Death Blossom, and executes just pretty much the entire team of First 48. 35% on the board. It's going to be 50% before this team can muster another offense.
Such a contained little alleyway between Juice throwing down the Tesla cannon and then just having Faux Falsetto jump down with Death Blossom. There was so much AoE damage coming out that there was nothing really First 48 could do. First 48 is sitting on a few ultimates to work with now. They do have Visor, they do have Primal Rage, they do have Sound Barrier, and they do have their own Death Blossom. See if they can make any of these tools work, as right now Ether is sitting on close to 60%.
Polo with a Death Blossom. Let's see what he gets with it. Only one. Good, really good reaction by Threes on the Tranquility. Zarya ultimate going to eat the enemies in Yada ultimate now for first 48. Looks like first 48 has a pretty good pressure on the point. Falsetto though, he has the opportunity to get a lot of kills here. He got one. Let's see if he can take out Polo. His mirror. No, he can't. Polo will win the 1v1. And just like that, first 48 gets, I guess, their first little percentage points on this very crucial segment that they have to win to stay in.
But they are up against 74%. There's a little bit of breathing room in there, so that way if this fight goes badly for them, or any of the following ones, they can make it back. But it's going to be close. So first 48 really needs to just defense this up and push it up as far as they can, so try to get this inside here. But they're going to be going against Falsetto now, sitting on Death Blossom, Ponyboy with Pulse Bomb, and Praise Be His having res.
Pulse Bomb does whiff. Freeze is down as well. There's no Zenyatta anymore for this attacking team, Team Ether. Let's see if Falsetto decides to go for it. He does. He's running into a Diva. Defense Matrix, though, still. The Defense Matrix wasn't able to eat everything off the ledge with you, though. Resilient knocks off Falsetto. This fight is not even, as first 48 is a few members up. Ponyboy, though, being on that Tracer, is able to get in a little bit early. Now, the biggest part of the Reaper getting knocked off there, Falsetto, is you can't resurrect someone if they're knocked off. And now we just have one Winston versus Winston and Diva. Not going to happen. As, man, that was a lot of percentage points going to the way of first 48.
That was a very long, drawn-out fight. That fight essentially bought them 50% on top of this. Now they're moving in within grasping range of getting this round. So Ether really is trying to figure out what they're going to do. They used a lot of ultimates inside that. All of their tools are spent. Yeah. You can see that everything is below 20% right now. They have to win these fights now just off of team synergy and aim. So they're trying to find what they can. And with this, look. Oh my gosh, he makes it back. Juicy got knocked off, but he does manage to come back inside of it. Trying to look for Polo.
So close, but look, Winston in the back line. He gets taken out as well as Resilient. He goes a little bit too ham by himself. He's been known to do that. Polo is the last one alive on this point to stall. And just like that, indeed, Ether steps up to the challenge and wins that fight without any ultimate. 75%. One more fight is left in this game, in this segment.
81% to 97. Whoever wins here essentially gets this round. If Ether gets it, they get the best of 3. First 48 wants to take this to a best of 5 right now inside of Ilios. Jumping in, Resilient, coming in hard, getting onto the point.
Ponyboy was a little bit too far up. Somehow managed to live, though. Falsetto and Ponyboy both gang up on Ninja. Attack Visor comes out from Team Ether. Let's see if we can get with it. Polo, though, takes out Ponyboy. Polo, man, he's been doing so well this fight. Let's see if he can keep it up. This is not over yet. Mercy still has the Resurrect. Praise be his. They need to take him out. They have to do it, but no, they can't. He gets a double res.
Sitting in overtime right now. Polo does manage to get a couple of kills back. You can see Anonymous is just sitting on top of the point right now with Sleepy, trying to make sure this doesn't flip over. Polo does make it over as well, trying to flip this over. They do manage to get the flip. It's now in overtime on the other side of this. 99% is going to count down, and well done first 48, taking this into the last of the best of 5. They are not going to go down without a fight.
Hey, I mean, they might not go down at all. We don't know that yet. If they win this, then they still have a shot going into the next map of, what was it again? Gibraltar was our third map?
The option is Route 66 or Gibraltar for the game.
Oh, yeah, I see. It'll probably be Gibraltar if it comes down to it, I think.
You never know. Different teams have their own different flavors. I personally prefer Route 66. I enjoy watching Gibraltar, though, just because of the hangar phase. I think it's really cool to see everybody maneuvering around, especially with all these fun dive comps. But for right now, we have to settle this in Sparta with the giant pit in the middle. Let's see who gets booped out. Let's see who gets control over this, and let's see who wins this. This is for Ilios. Both teams are making their charges out of the gates, coming in full steam. You can see that Juicy's in the lead on one side. On the other side, Ninja. Rockets are starting to come into play as we see Ponyboy trying to hit something. All of them getting eaten up by the Diva's self-defense matrix.
Juicy jumps into the back line. Let's see what he can get. He has the Zarya shield on him, making him very tanky, but still, he's taking a lot of damage. That Reaper, Polo, doing such a good job of keeping the enemy Winston away, and now there's no Winston on the side of Ether. No, the Reaper as well, as Falsetto goes down. It looks like first 48, they're going to take this first point. They have a very strong case to maybe even take all of Ilios here. This was the segment that they won last time as well. They already won this segment one time.
Good job on getting control of these first round. They're trying to figure out what they want to do with it. First fight is very, very important as far as ult charge and management goes. But Ponyboy is sitting on a lot of ultimate as well as Juicy. So we'll have to see how Ponyboy plays around this. Frisbee His comes up back and bringing in the greatness that is Pharmacy. Frisbee is doing a good job of trying to bounce around to whomever is doing damage at the time. Not just sitting on Ponyboy. A really good call out on that. But look at this fight. It's happening in 2 different locations. We're getting a little bit of a skirmish that's happening on the side with Polo getting some kills. But on the backside, everybody is kind of pushing in towards Ether spawn.
Oh, Ponyboy with the rocket barrage. Let's see if we can get not much as Sleepy puts him straight to sleep. Falsetto, though, he's just had such a huge impact every time he gets into the thick of things. Although he's had a little bit of difficulty doing that recently. He almost has the Death Blossom, can't quite get it before he falls. And Juicy is now on a, well, a Reinhardt, I was going to say, but now he's at the bottom of a pit. That's a bit of a anticlimactic intro for his new pick.
Reinhardt's entering the field and is now inside the pit. It's a good call, though. Really good use. Reinhardt can make a lot of use out of the corners inside of here. Really protective players. But look at this. First 48 is sneaking up on having 70%. They're getting control over this round. It's really coming down on Ether. They have to make something with it. But both Falsetto and Praise Be His are sitting on their ults as well as threes. So they have one of the big engines that has been buying them victories with Faux Falsetto's Death Blossom. Can he get the position to make it work?
This is the only chance they have to win this. Polo, he tries to go for the Death Blossom. Falsetto as well. Both whiff, except both Polo. He got some value out of it. He took out the Zenyatta ultimate. Played that out. And, alright, D.Va self-destruct. Not going to get anyone with this, it doesn't look like. And now at 99%, even if they lose this fight, they're still in a very good position. But still, first 48, they might not lose this at all. Just Joe, he has to step on the point to contest it. That's alright. Anonymous, let's take it out. And I think that maybe with the combo of this Zarya and Tactifizer, this might be enough to finally push this into Ether's favor.
Slowly and steadily, Anonymous getting bounced off the side. Resilient is back and going to need to live up to his name. Never mind. Rose says, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not worth. Going to jump away. Here we go. 99% to 2%. Find out who takes Ilios. Either has their work cut out for him. Praise Be His is still sitting on res, though. So even if these fights do go bad, they can lean into this and potentially get the res back up. It's all about survival now and maintaining control over this point. Because one lost fight gives first 48 the win on Ilios.
Resilient has his enrage up. That means he can be very aggressive now, dive onto the back line. Nija goes down very early, and Rose responds with his own ultimate. Knocks off Just Joe. That's the huge use of it. No Zarya right now off of that. Remember, they can't resurrect her either because she fell off the side. Big Death Blossom from Falsetto will clean this fight up. And with that, looks like they're going to hold on to this for a little bit longer. 50% will be on the clock by the time the next offense rolls in.
Praise Be is still sitting on ult. Threes is about to have one, as well as Ponyboy, just a little bit of damage. But Polo also now has Death Blossom, and Nija has the Visor coming through. Sleepy is getting really, really close to having Transcendence. These are some really valuable tools. It's just a matter of who manages to make the most use out of them. Nice side maneuvering coming out from first 48, coming through, not charging directly in from spawn, deciding to get a little bit of control, using this little lobby area for cover.
Tactifizer comes out for the first 48. Let's see what DJ can get with it. Doesn't look like there's too much in his sights right now. He doesn't get anything with it. He gets Praise Be His! Mercy's down. There's no Resurrect right now. Polo as well. Goes for the follow-up ultimate. Freeze does use the Zenyatta Transcendence, but it's just not in time. The value's already been done, but Just Joe, he's on the point. He has 100 energy. Let's see what he can do with it. It's all up to him now. He doesn't manage to take out the Soldier or the Lucio either. They get down very low, though, and with that, Praise Be His tries to go for the res. Actually gets in with the reset.
That was crazy!
That was crazy. They can do it. They can do this. Ponyboy, he's on the side. He's doing a ton of damage. He already got one kill. Maybe even a second one. Falsetto's in there as well. If they win this fight, Ether takes the tournament, or takes the match at least.
Gym leader booped Faux Falsetto off, though, so Ponyboy was the only person there and couldn't make it in. But I'm sorry. Praise Be His. That was such a great attempt at salvaging that game. Flying in, hitting the res, sidestepping, flying to another person on the point, trying to get in, putting that extra little bit of stall in there. But with that first 48, does get that round, and we move into the best of 3. And well, we knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Reaper has to get player of the game with as many Death Blossoms as we've been seeing.
Oh yeah, that was so close. That was a very clutch play at the end there by Praise Be His. He almost had it. That play almost won Ether the game. They were like one little step away from it at the end there. That fight was so close. I've got to say, Reaper's ultimate has gotten significantly better since the change to his passive. Since the change to his passive. So now he has that flat lifesteal. And if you jump into a team of 6, turn on your Death Blossom, suddenly you're healing for like 30, 40, 50 health a second. It's pretty hard to kill him. He's a lot tankier now.
He's like sneaky tanky now with that like directed healing instead of getting rid of the soul orbs. The soul orbs was always kind of an awkward thing anyway to try to make use of. Just the flat healing coming back in is so much more beneficial for Reaper. And that's why you've seen the reemergence of him. I wholly agree. I think it makes him, it gives him a place depending on how you play around him. And we've been seeing a lot of great Reaper play coming out from Faux Falsetto and Pola.
Yeah, Reaper also a hero that punishes lack of awareness and positioning. So Reaper particularly strong in more amateur levels. That like you don't see Reaper as much in pro matches because he gets punished very severely if you see him coming. But I think it's so fun seeing him be able to take over a game in these types of matches.
It just
looks
really
like we might be going to Route 66 for our third map, by the way.
Ooh, I like it. Route 66 is a lot of fun. I specifically love watching how different teams attack or defend the first point in Route 66 and how they play around the gas station itself, how they opt into choosing for their dive approaches. It's just an all-around very interesting map, especially if you make it all the way into the third stage of that map with that long hallway of death.
Oh yeah, I like the hard hold, like holding up to the spawn. I think that's the most exciting thing to see. Plus, it usually it catches teams off guard so well. Definitely holding up at big girls and holding further back on Route 66 is something that teams still do a lot, but it's something that is sort of not becoming as much of a must anymore. Teams are much more flexible on that map than they used to be.
Oh, wholeheartedly. Like, there's a lot of options, specifically now. Like, Route 66, we saw a lot whenever there was not a lot of dive. It was just like the tank fest where people like stood back behind Reinhardt shields and survived for forever. Now you're seeing it with the dive. There's so many interesting points you can play around inside of Route 66.
Traveling to Route 66.
Well, let's see what these teams decide to take. Team Ether is in the red. They're starting on offense. And first 48, they're on defense in the blue. Let's see what they decide to defend with as the gates. They have 20 seconds until they open. We get to see what these teams will be running.
Oh, and it's always so interesting. Like you were talking about, some people like to play really far forward and make control of these like train crates that have gotten knocked over. Play around inside of there, really trying to get the kills as they come through. Big Girls, on the other hand, is also another interesting defendable location. We've actually seen a lot of dive teams also start making use of these side tunnels and really positioning up and down based off of those for kind of like an intermediate defense point.
Yeah, I think the teams have gotten very creative with Route 66. They do all sorts of things. Looks like here they haven't committed yet. I think that with a Reaper, it's a bit difficult to say you want to hold up on big girls because there's not a lot of range on this team. If you look on this defending team from first 48, all they have is a soldier, really. They have Sleepy who can sling some orbs around, but really the long range is not super there. I think that they could hold further up, but they're deciding to hold on big Earls because, well, that's what they're probably comfortable with.
So Skyline, back behind the sign for Welcome to Deadlock Garage, right next to Big Earls. Did you ever notice that there's a sign right back behind that that's Visit the Cave of Mystery? Did you ever wonder what's inside the Cave of Mystery? I get curious.
Is that new? I feel like I would have seen that before.
I feel like I would have noticed it as well. It's kind of hanging back. I think it was one of the newer additions that's put back over there. But now every time I see it, I'm like, what is inside the Cave of Mystery? I need these answers, Kaplan. You need to tell me.
Oh, look at Falsetto being very aggressive, going straight up. Just trading a couple pokes in here and there. Already 43% though on Falsetto. All they have is the soldier. Very nice concussive blast. Splits up this team very nicely. Down goes Rosillion, but Ninja, he's in the back. He has to get some shots off, but they know he's here. And I don't think he's going to be here for very long, though, as all these heroes are bearing right down on him. That entry concussive blast from Falsetto to split up all of first 48 just was so beautiful. Perfectly executed.
That's the big thing about defending on top of big Earls. It requires a lot of synergy and fighting together. And that concussion blast just disrupted any chances of that. Scattered everybody to the four corners, quite literally. And look at it. Resilient does come in, jumping in, trying to stop 3 meters beforehand. These bodies are trying to get there, but they just can't quite make it. See body blocks coming out from Juicy.
This attacking side, they have a Mercy Res, a Rocket Barrage, Deadeye. Pretty dangerous combination, especially if you look at what the defenders have. First 48, they don't have too much. They haven't really been on the board so far in this game. 5 minutes on the clock. That's a very fast take for the first point here on Route 66.
I do not really believe that cart stops too much. They saw an initiation. It did. It was just for maybe just a couple of seconds. See first 48 coming around, trying to opt into holding control of this upper area with Resilient and Anonymous. They're finally starting to get some synergy together and push in. Look, they're starting to stay right on top of each other. And this is kind of what you want out of your dive. Have these two tanks kind of protect each other so that way the supports can really focus in on trying to keep the damage dealers alive.
Well, here we go. The fight's good. Looks like it started. Threes goes down, traded in for Polo. So no McCree, no Zenyatta for either of these sides. Although praise be his, the big res gets up both of their key heroes, Farah and Zenyatta. As a result, they're going to have a massive advantage going to this. Deadeye comes out, but doesn't get too much as Gym Leader actually takes out the McCree by his Lucio. Oh, that Rocket Barrage, though. Beautiful. Takes out 2, and that might just let this cart push up even further.
Sleepy is just the lone person still sitting back there on top of the cart. You can see that nobody was even really looking at him, and all of a sudden they see a couple orbs come out, and they were like, wait a minute, and just get hit with that Reinhardt hammer so hard. Points pushing in. This is going to be really, really close. We can see any defense come out. Anonymous wants to kind of come out and stall this. It's just going to be him and Nisha. I don't know if they really want to step down inside of this. Self-destruct goes flying down the tunnel.
It's a little bit too far around the corner. Doesn't quite catch anyone. Now we have a defensive self-destruct. Let's see if that does. It does negate Ponyboy. No McCree anymore for these attackers. Earth Shatter hits just one, just hits the ulting Winston, but that's going to be enough. Sets up the charge. No more Winston anymore. Killed through his ultimate in the back. Polo and Threes are dueling. Polo does come out on top, the defending McCree. Yeah, McCree. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Praise be his, living up to his name. You know, everybody in that team was just like, oh yes, praise be his, as he gets a huge res up there. Staying alive, trying to get what they can out of this. Praise be his, last person really next to the cart. It's just him and Ponyboy. They opt into it. Ponyboy decides to run away, but gets shot in the back for it. We do have a change out that's come out from Falsetto that is rocking the Genji now. Been sitting on it for just a little while, opts into coming back.
I thought that the Pharaoh was so very effective.
I guess that they thought that they needed something a little bit more up close and personal, especially as they're pushing into stage 3. I could see the switch at stage 3. Making the switch here whenever there's still so much open skies to be explored is fair. It's kind of questionable. Maybe they thought that they needed to get some ult charge and that they had a lot of control over this. But
he already has his blade. Like, that was so fast. And we've seen Falsetto's blades before. They're very effective. Dash through Polo. He does have the blade available. Let's see if he has to use it. It'd be really ideal if he didn't. Sleepy, the Zenyatta player, he's in a lot of danger right now. He gets cut up. Dash through. Let's see if Falsetto can find anything else with it. I think he can. He takes out Ninja. And without the Tranquility, I think that just locks it up. In fact, probably even not necessary as Gym Leader. They need to take him out. They do. And, yeah, I think McCree will go down as well, and that's the point.
That just hurt. You can tell Polo was like, it's okay, guys. I'm going to try to stall. And then D.Va just flies up, rams him back down the tunnel, and then everybody just tears him to pieces. There we go. We're moving into stage 3 with 3 minutes on the clock. Everybody from first 48 is up and trying to get in, figure out how they're going to defend this. Ponyboy's got the damage boost coming out from Praise Be His, trying to find some targets. Really, a lot of them are getting eaten up by D.Va's self-defense matrix. Falsetto's jumping in as well, but has to pull back as he gets hit with the Discord Orb.
Tranquility will put a damper on this attacking tide so far. Winston in the back. Needs to be careful. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Attack Visor as well makes it very dangerous for the defenders to stay out in the open. And with that, Ponyboy gets a lot of damage out, a lot of kills as well. Sleepy, the last one to fall. This card is just rolling through. Falsetto has another blade, and praise be his, another res, and other ultimates as well to back it up.
Oh, Anonymous was going in, manages to get the self-destruct as it's falling apart, doesn't pick up anything with it, but instantly manages to remake, and that's the initiation point from first 48, trying to find some more targets, but Ponyboy actually is the one that's finding the kills as well as just Joe.
Blade comes out, gets one, and the Earthshatter hits two. That's the rest of the team, and just like that, this card, if they can stop the Winston from stalling this out for too long, this card's gone.
Self-destruct flying down there. Primal Rage comes out from Winston to try to push through them.
Brazilian got hit by the Diva Bomb. That's why he died so quickly there. All right, this card, it doesn't have very much longer to go. All they have to deal with is this Diva. Once the Diva goes down, no one else really has that stalling potential on their team. Oh, and that's
comes
it.
Out, doesn't quite make it. There we go. 1:31 on the clock for Ether. Now we got to see what the first 48 can do. They have to do a full completion on this. This is our third round and best of 3. Whoever wins this is going to go on to play our next game, which is going to be against the Fighting Mongooses.
So Fighting Mongooses, they didn't make it out. We were secretly cheering for them.
Well, hold on. I believe that they were the first game. Yeah, we were going to play. We'd watch them regardless. So it's just a matter of.
Oh, we
who
were.
they play.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the Fighting Mongoose is going to be playing whoever wins against Desperados and Nearly Critical Mass. That's the way that one's going to go. So Desperados and Nearly Critical Mass will be one of the two teams we'll be watching. Fighting Mongooses. So used to doing bracket style. I forget that we're in a league style now. Well done to Overwatch University for that structuring this. This is really complex. If you think about the amount of divisions and setup and how many teams are inside of this, much kudos to the admins and everybody that's participating inside of working on the background of this. It's so much work to get something like this together, and they deserve all your love and adulation. So make sure Twitch chat, if you see them working or they ask you any questions, be nice, be polite. They're doing all of this for you guys.
And Twitch watchers, if you want to know more about the league, there is a link to our website down below the stream, as well as our Discord.
Hey, and I was talking about beforehand, Discord is super nice. Everybody in there is polite. You can come in and ask some questions, meet some people to play with, no matter your rank, no matter your position inside of Overwatch. If you just want to get better, or if you just want to meet some people to have some fun playing Overwatch with, it's an absolutely great community. So make sure, let's be honest, it's 2017. Everybody's got Discord if you're playing video games right now. Just click the link and join the community. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything.
Although I've got to say, Discord got real popular real fast. It was only like a year ago when lots of people didn't have Discord.
Well, your option before that was like what, Skype or Ventrilo, and Ventrilo was really annoying, and then there is just the plague that is Skype.
You know what else though? We got an Overwatch game. It appears first 48. They're pushing the card. Unbeknownst to them, there's a sneaky Reaper coming up from behind. Let's see what he can do. Not too much as he falls immediately down to 39 health and tries to get out. Can he get out though? Ooh, it was pretty close, but it looks like it. Card pushing up. There is a Mei on this team, by the way. Just Joe opting for the Mei once again. Let's see what he can do with it. Wall probably coming up pretty soon. Let's see what he decides to do with it. No wall, huh? All right, so holding out on that.
Just trying to wait and find some point of separation coming inside here. This is a really interesting defense that we're seeing coming out right now from either. They were opting into trying to hold the top of Big Joe's, but they're coming through, trying to see some separation, but can't get anything off of it. No. Falsetto's trying to find it.
That was a beautiful wall, but they just couldn't find the conversion on it. Falsetto, he got in a bit of damage. Brazilian gets knocked, gets frozen again. But Just Joe, he's very low, no healing available, and he's in that frontal position. He goes down. Attack visor for the attackers as well is available.
Ponyboy played that really brave, just ran straight up to the Reinhardt shield, stuck his barrel through it, and got a kill off of it. And with this, we're seeing a very stalwart defense coming out from Ether. 2 minutes and 40 seconds coming out now for first 48. They did get held on their first push, so remember, they're playing against the clock. 1 minute and 31 seconds. That's how much time they have to complete this map, but they want at least as much time to work with in case this goes into the bonus rounds, because this is not a hybrid. It's a matter of how long you can push in the bonus rounds. So they need time to work with. These stalls and every bit of time that is eaten off the clock helps Ether so much.
Sleepy goes down, so there's no Ana for these attackers. Falsetto, he finishes up the fight with his own Death Blossom, and a charge onto Just Joe gets stopped just short as he gets taken out by Falsetto. saving his teammate's life. Polo, can he get out alive? Ooh, no, not quite. As Just Show launches an icicle into his chest. I think that hit his time converter, forcing him into a different dimension. Is that how Tracer works?
I believe that's how it all comes down. It makes, like, based off of that video with where Doomfist breaks it, you just see her like glitch out and start being everywhere. But also we know from that video it instantly throws Winston into a primal rage apparently whenever that happens.
Yeah, but it didn't happen this time. So maybe not. Charge comes out on Juicy. Oh, hits Sleepy. That's pretty big. No Ana anymore for the attackers, as the rest of the team goes down as well. Only 1 minute 20 left on the clock here. Ether really nailing this first point defense.
This is really, really rough for first 48. They really want to get the win inside of this best of 3. Everything's coming down to these last couple pushes. 1 minute is all the time they have to work with, and they have to make sure that they kill Mercy. Praise be his is sitting on top of Rez right now. They have to get a full completion on this round, and so they have to be thinking they have to get this. All the pressure's coming on. Morale has to be really rough. Praise be his is down. This is the moment to execute from, and you see the Earth Shatter come out.
Okay, lots of bullets popped on the attacking side. Notice nothing on the defensive side though. They didn't use anything. Now, if they can get back in time, which it's looking like probably not, they'll be able to stop this. DC, though, it looks like it's come out from Ether. Yeah, their Reaper player just disconnected, so we will have a pause, I would imagine, in just a moment. But with 3 minutes left on the clock going into the second point, this is, what was looking like a really grim story for first 48. Might go somewhere. So one of the players owns the game lobby and they don't know the keybind for pause. It's what is it? It's Control Shift equals or something? You know, that always bothered me. The keybind for pause in Overwatch is just ridiculous.
Why isn't it pause?
Why isn't it just like Control P or maybe like a pause button? Like you press escape and there's a pause button. Yeah, it's Control Shift equals. I was right there. Yeah, I remember having to deal with that too. It's like someone asked me to pause a lobby. I'm like, how do you pause? I can't find how to pause. I did Control P. I did like all the F keys. They're like, oh, it's Control Shift equals. Duh.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's just the easy mode, don't you know? Like, God, what are you? Skyline and some type of plebeian? You don't know how to pause a game that you can never pause except for in custom lobbies? It's so weird. They should make it easier, without a doubt. I entirely agree with you, Skyline. There should just be an easy button for it. Like, why not just make it something simple like, I don't know. I'm with you on that Control P. Those buttons are complete opposite on the keyboard. If you look down, you can see like way over here and way over here.
Well, and at least for sure, like when you press escape, in the menu should be a pause option.
Yeah, can't that be remapped by a player though?
Yeah, it can. A lot of people set it to whatever they want it to be. Like, I think that I have mine set to the pause button, as you said, the pause break button, because it's so logical. Why would you not just set it to the logical button?
No one uses the pause break button anymore for anything.
That was like the 80s computers.
It's like the most forgotten key.
And so with this, we're going to wait for just a second so that way everybody can come in. I know that feeling of losing power, because I mean, you guys can probably hear the thunder. Has it been thundering still really bad?
Not very badly.
Yeah, I don't know. We just got hit with a big, huge storm. It's that time of the season specifically, like if you live in those regions where a whole bunch of tropical storms and stuff like that are at. That's the joys of playing an online tournament. Sometimes power just goes out due to storms. Most likely due to storms, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful where I live, so I got that going for me.
Yeah, it's a blue sunny day out there.
You live like really far north where it's like cold and like Antarctica and the White Walkers live.
Okay, well, that's more like Alaska. I live in New York, which is more like Winterhold, or man, that's the name of whatever.
That's World of Warcraft, isn't it?
That's World of Warcraft. I was mixing up my high fantasy. I was mixing up my high fantasy. Winterfell. Bam. There we go.
I mean, gosh, like, the new season's about to start here in a second.
I know, man.
You can't mix up these things.
They left off on a real cliffhanger on the last one. If you haven't watched, go ahead.
I'm a book reader for that, so like I'm really confused about the new season.
Aren't
of Game of Thrones.
the books are behind the series, right?
Now they are, because it takes George R. R. Martin 40 years to write a book.
That's got to be weird. That's got to be weird. It's so did you watch? So the books fell behind the series. Did you just not watch the series? Are you still waiting for the next book?
Well, it didn't really happen until like midway through the last season. Is whenever they about midway through last season is whenever they started really kind of doing their own thing. But 2 seasons ago is where they kind of started diverting away from the books and characters started dying that were still alive in the books and vice versa. So I don't know. Like that's where I'm torn on, because I'm gonna say it. I was like one of the guys that, like back in like 2000, like early 2000s. I think like 99 is whenever I read the book. Showing my age a little bit, and so like it feels wrong to watch before reading, but at the same time, I have to know, and then I have to know if like it doesn't even matter, because if there's like characters that are dead or alive on both sides, like what do you do at that point? Like, is the story that you're even watching the same as what's gonna happen in the books? Oh,
The nice thing, so like I definitely I feel you as far as reading books goes. I think that it's certainly the better overall experience reading the book. But at the same time, I think that a lot of the fun that I have with those types of series, the very dramatic types of series, is to experience them with someone else. Like I watched Game of Thrones with other people like the entire way through, and that was really fun. You can't read a book with another person. So I think that is the justifiable reason for watching the show, is if you're like, hey, I'm watching the show with my friends, that is a completely different experience than reading the book.
Oh, it's definitely true. Specifically, like I remember back whenever I was reading the books beforehand, like I read the books beforehand and everybody was watching the show. If you are not caught up on Game of Thrones, like plug your ears. Mainly a major character dies in the first season. And
major character dies in every season.
Lot. But like in the first season, that's whenever it threw everybody for a loop. And just being like sitting there and knowing that it's coming, because everybody's like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then it happens, you're like, and you just go watch the misery of your friends. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah. So I've always been super unlucky with spoilers my entire life. Like literally, this has happened to me twice. 2 times in a row, I've picked up a book and I'm like, oh, this looks like a cool book. And I opened it to a random page, not even at the end, like a random page in the middle, just to kind of read through it a little bit to see what the author's writing style was. And literally I would read the equivalent of like, and then Dumbledore died, like that basic equivalent. Like I open up the book and I read the most spoiler sentence in the entire thing. I'm like, gosh. Or like
why don't you just like not go to the middle of the book and only like look at like chapter 2 or chapter 1? Why don't you just start reading the book?
You know what, Matchroom, stop patronizing me. Or like, for example, if I go on the internet and I see anything about a show, it's always like the exact thing that is the biggest spoiler every single time, or a book or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna call out you people in Twitch chat. You guys are the worst about it. Like I remember that the day before Force Awakens came out, I was watching somebody's stream, like just watching a friend, and then like somebody came in and they were like, here's the entire synopsis for it. And like it hadn't even come out where I was at yet to where I could watch it on day one. Somebody apparently like went to a Hollywood thing, saw the spoilers for it, saw them online, and then just was like posting them all over Twitch. And I was just like, you are a special type of evil.
They go to a special level of hell, I think.
There should be like some type of Twitch jail that comes in. Hey, and look, we've got our Phil coming in. Looks like Talos is coming in from here. Going to be our Phil coming out from Ether.
So did Foe just completely lose his computer? Did it blow up?
You know as much as we do. You can see the chat that's off the side. I'm going to
no, I can't because I have it hidden.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're playing it right then.
Yeah, so Foe is MIA. He's gone. He's been abducted by aliens. He has been removed from the premises, and Talos has taken his place as a sub. So Foe, of course, a crucial member of this Ether team. Let's see if Talos coming in at the last second here is going to throw them for a loop.
As a side note, I had time to solve my Rubik's Cube during that pause.
Hey,
that pause was 1 Rubik's Cube long. It's going to be really heartbreaking for Aether if they lose after this.
Crazy P His is wanting to know if Talon is a suitable sub. Let's ask the admins real quick.
Yeah, there are rules that subs are supposed to be within 250 SR of the person they're replacing. That can be waived by the other team if they choose, but notionally, subs are supposed to be about the level of who they're replacing.
Talos is 2680. 2680 versus.
Foe was 2262.
So that's technically illegal.
So yeah, the first 48's captain has to approve it if it's going to be allowed.
Current or season high is what they're wanting to know, because they're saying yes, he is.
That's a good question. I think it might be season high, and I was just listing off Foe's current. I don't have a season high in front of me.
Oh, here, I got it. I got it. Let's see. Foe Falsetto, his season high is, yep, his season high is 2650, so
awesome.
That would be just fine.
So, sounds like it works?
It should, yes.
All right, so with this, guys, we are coming to the point where we're going to unpause in just a second. Talos is in. As you can hear, we have just confirmed the fact that he is capable of playing inside this. So we're going to be coming back in just a minute, waiting for everything to get finalized and set in. So just as a reminder of where we were at, since we had to do a kind of I wouldn't say a lengthy pause. Right now, we're in a best of 3 between Ether and First 48. This is the third round of this, so all the cards are on the table. Ether did push all the way to the end of Route 66 with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on board. First 48 is presently on attack in the second stage. Right before that is whenever we had the disconnect. Foe Falsetto, one of the big damage engines coming out from Ether, got disconnected for some reason, and how it hasn't come back in. So we'll have to see about how losing that's really going to affect Ether.
Yeah, he got beamed up. We have no clue what happened to him. He lost power and fell off the grid. Probably gone to the mountains or something.
He might have been mauled by a bear. We don't know.
Yeah, you just, who knows? It's one of these things that's going to be forever a mystery, and the only way you can find out is by signing up and becoming a part of the Overwatch University Discord or their Twitter. Maybe they'll do some announcements to be like, it's okay, guys. Foe Falsetto is alive and okay. And oh my gosh, Just Joe is spamming this pause button, and it's like unpause, unpause, and pause again.
I think the crazy stuff's about to happen as, yep, we have an unpause. Just Joe is in the perfectly wrong position for all of this. Remember, they are still down a player as Talos. He needs to respawn and get back into the action. Miraculously, no one has died yet, as I think Talos might be able to get back in time. And in fact, Ponyboy, they're down one player here for Ether still. Ponyboy managed to get a kill. Just Joe releasing the ultimate, freezes 1, 2, 3. And just like that, we have a team wipe. It looks like, as Resilient, he doesn't have very long to live here either. It's taken out Talos. Manages to get one rocket in so far. And with 1 minute, 1 minute 20 seconds left.
Talos shows up, ramming down the rockets, getting some nice connects on top of it, helping finish off somebody. All right, 35% on his ultimate, actually, since he is a replacement. Came in with 0 charge. 1 minute and 15 seconds is what the first 48 has to play with. Essentially, 1-2 fights, depending on how long they are. So, I'm just coming out the gates, and Talos is raining down the rockets.
Concussive Blast will split this team up a little bit. Not too much, though, as Ninja has killed Ponyboy. No Soldier now for the defenders. No Reinhardt either, but the Resurrect will change that as they're both gotten right back up, almost up to a rocket barrage by Talos. Ponyboy has a attack visor as well. It doesn't look like he'll need it, though. This fight will be cleaned up. 40 seconds remaining. One more push available to these attackers. And they need to run into, well, a May ult. Zenyatta ult. Rocket barrage. Quite a bit of stuff. No Mercy ult, though.
But Talos got a late kill onto Gym Leader. That's going to eat even more time off the clock. They only really had enough time for one. But these late spawns are going to put a lot of pressure on here. These delays. Gym Leader's coming in. 22 seconds, so they know that they're going to have to get feet on the ground. What they were probably wanting to do is try to get a couple more kills inside here. Almost just go straight into May, trying to get onto the point. 13 seconds left on it and gets frozen.
There's the attack visor. Let's see if Ponyboy can take out Polo. He does. The self-destruct doesn't quite get as much as it needs by Anonymous. With only 3 seconds left, it's all up to these 2 tank players to bring it home, and I don't think that they can 2v6. Anonymous gets sent out of her mech into pilot form, and with the mail, that's going to be it. As Gym Leader taken out. Overtime will burn down, and Sleepy will turn it all around.
Earth Shatter connects on just about everybody that just got res, but Anonymous, Nisha, and Polo are trying their best to stay alive, trying to find some kills, but Juicy and Ponyboy are just killing so many people, and it's not going to come out for them. And with this, Ether takes this first series of the night. First 48 put up a valiant attempt, though.
Their performance on Ilios was just phenomenal at the end last time. They fell back, it looks a little bit on Route 66. That was a convincing victory from Team Ether. And with that, we will be going into the next match shortly. But let's take a look at this play of the game by Polo.
I think that this was that really
Oh yeah, I remember this.
sneaky
This is
that,
the
just came
1v1,
out of nowhere.
beating the Zenyatta, and then triple kill with a dead eye. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, those McCree changes.
And then they got
Just-
rezzed and they won the fight.
Yeah, I know. It was so pretty there. It's like I bet you heard it go off on the side. Like it's all like you can see as the screen was going black, you heard the of the Mercy res, and it was just that's why it went black. It's just sadness that happened after that.
After that, only sadness, only tears.
Hello, darkness, my old friend, kicked in super hard there. All right, so we're gonna do a quick look around and see who won between Desperados and Nearly Critical.
They
Now.
are still playing. I believe they have also gone to a third round, and they're being a little slow. So it looks like we're going to be able to take a short break here.
Ooh, well, if that's the case, then I'm not going to make anything about that because I might have to go to the bathroom a little bit. So everybody in Twitch chat, make sure you guys get up, grab yourself a drink, grab those snacks, come back in because we're going to be doing another game, best of 3, following this up. Go to the restroom. It shouldn't take too long for everybody to come back in, and you can listen to our 3 very nice voices as we take a very quick break. Skyline, do you have anything you want to say before we go?
Snape kills Dumbledore.
You are a bad person. Like, what is the expiration date on spoilers? I don't know.
I don't know. Is that maybe it's the same as maybe does that follow patent law?
So, like, what, 30 years?
Patents, I think, expire in 7 years.
7 years sounds right. I want to say that. It depends on the
7
type of
years.
thing that you are applying for a patent for. If
All right.
I remember correctly.
In the chat, I want you to I want the best spoiler attorney in the chat to let us know the laws on spoiler expiration date and get back to us. We'll be taking a short break. I want an answer by the time we get back.
And while we wait, I'm going to read off some of the other scores that have happened in the first round while we were streaming that. In NA Bracket A, so the top bracket, the highest divisions, basically diamond it up. We've got Core Frostbite defeating Fractal. Well, down in Bracket C, the Debateful 8 has beaten Body Pillows. Back up in NA Bracket A, Loaded Esports has beaten Team Goo Goo. Division C again, the Ungentleman defeated Silver Syndicate. Down in Division D, DOBs has beaten Brave Little Toasters. NA Bracket B, the other NA Bracket B first round match, other than the one we're waiting on, Surprising Amounts of Damage has defeated Sleeping Knights 2-1, so that was another surprisingly close match. Always love those. And in NA Bracket C, Skynet has defeated Team Not That Bad and ushered in the AI Apocalypse. Just a few scores for you guys while we wait.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Skyline. Joining me today is Matchroom and Mukakaibu. Mukakai Kubo.
Shikaka!
Mukai Kubo. Anyway, we just got the results in for our last match. And who won that, Muka?
That would be Desperados winning 2-1, so that went 3 maps, so that one went the distance also.
We had some seriously ferocious games today. So they'll be playing against the Fighting Mongooses in just a few minutes, as they'll be coming back into this lobby here.
Yeah, I imagine
We'll
they're
have a
going to
game.
need a bathroom break after a game that long.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What are you talking about? This is the esports lifestyle. You're supposed to have it like built into your computer chair. Like, or was it that like everybody knows that infamous South Park guy that just kind of like leaned over to the side and was always sitting there? But no, we'll give him a second to get up, go to the bathroom, grab some drinks. Then we'll kind of talk about what we're expecting as we go through here. Mukai, I was kind of curious. Give us a breakdown on how all of these structured brackets work and what's going on, so that way if there's anybody inside the chat that may want to participate in the upcoming seasons, they can.
So first of all, this is the playoffs ending season 2. In a few weeks, though the schedules aren't finalized, we're probably going to start signups for the 3rd season of Overwatch University League, and those games probably won't start until sometime in August, though we're trying to finalize the schedule. I would recommend hopping into the Discord now and starting to look for a team. Just get a group together, start getting the nucleus of a team you can submit for next season if you want to play. For the playoff structures, we had 22 divisions, each with 7 or 8 teams. They played a full round robin, and the top 2 teams from each division advanced to the single elimination playoffs. And for the playoffs, because we only wanted a maximum of 16 teams in any division so that we could do 2 weeks of 2 games each, we split it up into groups of 5 or 6 divisions, so that bracket A would be divisions 1 through 6, bracket B 7 through 11 or 7 through 12, and so on. So what we're about to see is the bracket B second round, so the quarterfinals pretty much. And on one side we've got the Fighting Mongooses, and they actually went through their division play only dropping a single map all season. They're the undefeated Division 11 champions, and they're going to be playing against the Desperados. They went 5-1 in a higher division, Division 6, and the divisions are ordered by what the average SR of the team was at the start of the season. So Fighting Mongooses, their average SR is right around 3,000. Desperados, their average SR is right around 3,100, 3,150. So it's pretty close. We're not going to see a huge imbalance here. There's a pretty good chance we're going to see another 3-map run.
Close enough for Overwatch matchmaking, to say the least, inside of here. But I just want to make sure that I'm hearing this right, because I know we've been involved in talking about this. 22 different divisions inside of there with 7 to 8 teams apiece.
And that's just North America. We have
50,
absolutely
200 teams that are participating inside of this event, guys. That is absolutely crazy.
We got thousands of players in this league. We're the biggest casual league there is.
Without a doubt. Because if you think about that, let's just say low win 150, and you have 6 players inside of that. And those are just the guys that have teams. There's got to be other people that didn't manage to get a team together and are looking for other people. Subtle hint here to make sure that you join the Discord so you can join a team and participate inside this. So that way we don't have random people that are trying to get in that can't. And you want to participate in it. It's low stress. It's fun. Meet some people to play with. Definitely make sure you guys join the Discord.
Yeah, and a lot of teams actually signed up with 7 or 8 people so that they would have a few people there in case of scheduling conflicts.
That's it. The 3 of us need to make a team. We'll start it up. We'll go. Find somebody else to cast.
That would be an impressive SR differential from you all to me.
That makes it balanced. It'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, that's a good balance. Just ask Overwatch.
I call Doomfist. That's my role in the team.
I don't know what to do now that Reinhardt is RIP. I guess I'm gonna have to be Doomfist. That's my only option in life.
It's your only option in life. There's just nothing else you can do.
Nothing else.
Come home, you're like, well, I guess I have to boot up Overwatch and play Doomfist now.
That's what I have to do. Now, okay, I have to say, we don't know anything about Doomfist skins yet. I know what I want for a Doomfist skin. I want him in like a yellow jumpsuit with like a white cape and go full One Punch Man. Like that would, if Blizzard
Of
did that for
course.
me, I would be so happy.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I could. I mean, yeah, it depends. I wonder how many weeboos they have at Blizzard offices.
If I had to take a wild guess, judging by how many that I have encountered playing this game and casting this game, we weeboos are everywhere. We want it.
I will also note that a clear sign as we're in the lobby waiting for the Desperados to get done with their bathroom break, the Desperados have every single flare the same. That's critical in Overwatch.
Yes.
It is. It shows synergy and strength, whereas mongooses are maintaining defiance against it. They're like, no, we all just do whatever we want.
Yeah, it's very important to have the same account icon.
It's intimidating whenever you come in, especially like the more randomized that they are. Like, I don't even know which is the one that Desperados is running. My icon game isn't strong.
I actually don't recognize that one.
Let's do a quick look through
I've
here.
seen it before. I just don't know what it's supposed to be.
It is NIN. NIN is what it's called.
Of course.
Okay.
Is that like maybe a company in Overwatch, like a corporation in Overwatch lore?
Who
I
knows?
don't know.
Maybe it's a
Overwatch-
band.
Overwatch lore people, hop on this. What is NIN for Overwatch? As I say, as I'm typing into Google. Apparently, it's a Hanzo spray.
Wow. And I will also note for the viewers that we've got grandmasters all the way down to a few bronze peoples because we've got 22 divisions. They're sorted by average SR. Pretty much anyone can find a team near their SR in this league.
Yeah, and that's a good part about it. Oh, I get it. Okay, here we go, guys. I've broken it down. I've got the meta going here. There is a Genji Hanzo spray that is NIN, and that is a Japanese translation for endure.
Yep, it's the first character in the word ninja. Nin.
Aha. Aha, look, it's all come full circle. This is what happens whenever we can sit down and use Google search. We can be
Google is magic. I'm just going to say it.
I have a PhD in Googling things.
that is my job. I am an IT director, so my job is somebody goes, "Hey, how come this doesn't work?" And I go, "Shoot me an email about that while I Google it." This
I remember, yeah, when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I was like, everyone thought I was legit genius. They'd be like, "Tom, can you fix that?" I'd be like, "Absolutely, I can." And they'd be like, "Okay, can you fix it?" I'd be like, "Yes, I will fix it tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll fix it. No problem." Went home, Googled it, looked up everything on it. I was like, "Okay, I get it now." Went back there, fixed it, and like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a genius."
You are a genius, Skyline. This is the secret to life. I mean, at this point, I'm still surprised how many people don't just Google something. Like in my old age that I am with my gray hairs and stuff like that, I remember going out to hang out with friends, and you have random questions like, "Hey, who is that actor in that show?" And nobody would just know, and it was just a dead in line. Nowadays, like that happens, and you'll still people just look around and be like, "I don't know," and all you have to do is just reach out and grab this magic cell phone that you have and type in things in Google, and you know.
Yep.
It's still amazing that people don't have that.
Yeah, there was a time before smartphones for the younger viewers. You didn't always have this. I still have a phone and I wish I could stream the webcam so I could show you my phone. It's before flip phones. It's that old.
Is it the Nokia? Is it the indestructible brick?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, those things are
I'm never
amazing.
giving it up.
Get one of those like giant, like a car phone. Those are the
Those
classics.
80s car phones were amazing, dude. Like I'm waiting for like, you know how like retro fashion comes in? I want retro technology to come in to where like all of a sudden like in 20 years people are walking around with like Nokia phones being like all hipstery, and 2040 being like,
That's the fashion. You know, I bet you could sell it. You could be like, go back to a simpler time, show some pictures of trees and nature and stuff, and be like Nokia, where everything is just simpler. It's like just the keypad. You can did they have like Tetris on that or something? I'm sure they did. I think they did.
Snake was the default fact.
Snake, yeah.
Snake, God, I don't even know how much time I lost on Snake. I remember whenever I got a cell phone that had like what was it? Solitaire on it. I was like, oh, technology is becoming a great thing.
Yeah, that was a
Technology.
revolution, man. You don't even know. Also, it looks like Desperados is ready, so we're going to be starting here in a minute.
All right, and so just as a reminder, this is going to be Mongooses versus Desperados. Mongoose is a team that some of you may be familiar with if you paid attention to a lot of Overwatch University stuff. It's Lafon, Galt, Pills, a Lime Drop, Son of Selkie, and Traffic Cone. We are actually in the loading screen now, heading into Temple of Anubis.
Here we are, Temple of Anubis. Pretty exciting map. A lot of people don't like it. I like it a lot. I'm a hipster. What can I say?
I enjoy it, like some of these two CP maps. I find this to be one of the more fun ones in my opinion. Now, one of the things we do also need to say is Desperados consists of Pray for GG's, Lone Wolf Co., Ultra, Kitsune Kira, Wolfer, and Galaxy. But let's be honest, we're probably going to refer to them as Kit from this point forward because Kitsune Kira is really hard to say.
No, I'm going to be saying that. Kitsune Kira will be the protagonist of our anime here today.
Well, what about Galterone over there, or Galtron? You gonna say that one?
True.
See, yeah, we got some serious names going on in here.
Galterine none, huh? No, Kitsune is our protagonist. He's playing Winston. Lone Wolf is the edgy, like, mysterious man who's really good at everything.
Well, okay, but what about Lone Wolf? You can't be Lone Wolf with a guy named Wolfer. That just it just doesn't seem right. You can't be the Lone Wolf if you're not even the Lone Wolf inside of your team.
Lone Wolf, and maybe Wolfer just really likes wolves.
Maybe it's like a subwoofer instead, and so Lone Wolf can still be by himself. I know it's spelled different and stuff. Leave me alone, guys.
Lone Wolf, Lone Wolf. He's trying to be alone. He's like, you can tell he's in the corner, being cool, being edgy. He has his My Chemical Romance blasting. He's a lone wolf, and then Wolfer comes over like, "Hey man, let's be friends." He's like, "No, I have to do this alone." "Hey, no, that's really cool. I like wolves. You like wolves. You have a wolf T-shirt on. They're howling at the moon. I have a wolf T-shirt. We should be friends." He's like, "No, I really just want to be alone, guys. No, let's be friends." I think that's what's happening on this team.
Well, he is playing Junkrat, and I mean, if you're gonna be the loner character, you don't play Reaper because Reaper's cool now. You play Junkrat. It's the way to go. Be like, I am that guy.
We had a brief pause while one of the Desperados lost connection, but they're back now. They were back now.
They were back. Are they still?
They're forward again.
Ultra is trying. I'm with you on this. All right. Whenever you say that somebody's back, shouldn't you say that somebody's here or somebody is forward? Because wouldn't they be facing you? And if somebody is back, wouldn't they have their back to you as in leaving?
They have returned, and saying that you are back is like synonymous with saying that he has returned.
Yeah, but why back? Like, how did that like vernacular come into play?
Huh.
I mean, think about it, because in no form of fashion, it makes sense.
Oh, well, I guess the idea is that they have left, like they went forward somewhere else, and now they have come back. They went backwards to be in the same place where they used to be, which was here.
I guess.
I'm going to go to the store, and
but then it
I'll
makes it
go
sound like they're walking backwards towards you. Oh, look, that person's back is back.
But now they're forward again.
Yeah, wouldn't they be forward coming to you?
Well, I mean, it's a matter of velocity versus speed.
I'm not even gonna pretend like that makes sense. Ultra is now back in. Looks like we've got everyone here. Ultra says he's getting a failed to connect message. Can we return back to lobby since the game has not yet started?
And indeed we can.
And we have done so. So we are now back in lobby. Get everything going on. And I see the fact that somebody's making a joke about the DC meta. This is a thing that happens with events as they're starting to try to get up, guys. People are fighting their way through trying to get into like playing on a competitive level. Sometimes internet isn't always stable. Like I was having a storm outside of my house earlier. We had one DC that happened earlier. And I think that probably something's hitting some of the localized hubs in certain areas. Hence why we're losing some internet connections. But we are back into the Temple of Anubis, which isn't very temple-y if you think about it. Like, it's like the foreground of the temple. You don't actually go in the temple. It should be like the lobby of Anubis.
Yeah, you just see the temple in the backdrop. It's like, yeah.
The
It's
streets
just a
before the
it's
Temple
just
of
Anubis. Yeah, it should be like the streets of Anubis.
The,
We're
oh,
just
I
like-
guess technically the defending spawners do spawn inside of the actual temple itself, but they're still technically just in the lobby of the temple. They're not really in the temple either.
Yeah, that's true. They're not.
All right, that's enough like digesting English and breaking down phrasings for the day. I'm done. You're not allowing me to do it anymore, Skyline. Between Temple of Anubis and back, it's no longer allowed.
All right, whatever you say.
But you know what I do want? You see this really cool boat that's right outside of the attacker spawn?
Yes,
That's
I love
back
that
over the
boat.
right. I want that to become a payload somewhere so bad. That would be like such a cool payload.
It's okay, I've got it on camera now.
I want that payload.
I want to fly it around. No, oh man, what if the payload? What if they made a map where the payload was flying instead of on the ground?
Farrah would have a good time with that, but I'm pretty sure Reinhardt would hate it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I guess
Reinhardt
so.
is RIP anyway.
Hey, Reinhardt is still pretty decent.
Reinhardt's still pretty good. I'm just making over-exaggerated jokes just because I play way too much Reinhardt, and it's rough on the PTR. Like I still try every once in a while. I've been trying it out because everybody wants to play the Doomfist. Like it's okay. I'll try this Reinhardt thing out, and then it's just Doomfist into the face.
Sombra invising back behind the team, trying to get a little chip on. Doesn't quite find anything, teleports back out. The attackers right now are going up onto the high ground. Ultra is on Genji. They're playing a very aggressive composition. Lucio, Zenyatta, Genji, Tracer, lots of damage, lots of dive. They already take out Son of a Selkie. No more Soldier anymore for the defenders. Winston as well going down, dropping like flies right now for the defense. They do get the Zenyatta on the attack, but it's small consolation as not many players are left to defend this. And there we go. This is going to flip over to the attackers very quickly.
But we don't see anybody with ults fully built up yet as far as Desperados. They do have a lot of ult charge to work with, but a lot of times what you see teams want to do is capitalize off of a strong first push like that and turn it into an instantaneous cap on the second point. But, so it's going to be really, really tricky. You can see Ultra's playing really far forward, looking for those early picks.
Can he pick out the
Not gonna
Sombra? That'll be big. I think that they can. No Sombra. Ultra has 76% of his ultimate. He can get a blade up, and if he gets a blade, that's it for this point. Although, oh no, Prey goes down very early, so there's no Zenyatta. That's a lack of healing, which is really going to hurt this offense.
And right now we have Son of Selkie that is playing Mei, posted up, trying to give time for the rest of the spawners to come back in. They do manage to clean up a couple of kills, push everybody from Desperados back out. It's 6 minutes and 20 seconds for the attackers to play with. And trying to, let's see if they can get the second point. And nice follow through coming up from line drop and traffic from getting some more staggers in there, going to eat more time off the clock.
So Ultra does have the blade up now. They have, I mean, pretty much everyone has their ultimates up. D.Va is a couple shots away from getting the self-destruct. They need to push ASAP right now so that they can initiate before too many ultimates come up on the defenders. They still have the advantage technically for now. Here we go, dive in. Winston comes in, barrier as well. Blade, let's see what this can get.
It's coming off as soon as jumped inside of this. You see D.Va's throwing out the self-destruct on defense right now, trying to see if he can pick up anything. Does manage to pick up Prey. So we have two ulting Winstons that are looking at each other right in the face. Right now, Mongooses are trying to see what they can get out of it. It's just the Winston, and Lucio finally manages to make it back over there. Trying to keep bodies on this so that way they don't have any form of claim that's taking over. But you can see about a tenth of it has now been captured. All the defenders have spawned to come back in, rallying and forcing everybody from the attackers back off as they're trying to run away.
That was, that attack was looking really good, but just not enough follow-up damage. That is the tricky part of running a composition like that. You don't really have too much really consistent sustained damage. All you have is the Tracer and Genji, and they don't hit quite as hard as you maybe would have a Soldier or some other hard DPS hero. As a result, they couldn't really keep the point.
It was a great job by Pills
maintain it.
just staying alive, just staying on the point, using Primal Rage, bouncing around, trying to make sure that he wasn't in anybody's focus line of sight, jumping around quite a bit. You have everybody.
Whoa!
Pushing. Ray's actually getting a kill onto a Galt. That's going to be the go button for Desperados.
But look at that, Sombra ultimate will really put a dent in this offense. Tracer has the MP on her, meaning that she can't really be very aggressive. The Mail froze a lot of people, slowing them down, but didn't really convert into any kills, surprisingly. Still no kills on the side of the defense. Finally, they take out the D.Va mech. Farah goes down as well. Zenyatta, he's in a heap of trouble as there's an angry ape on him. And that's it. That's a fast 2 minutes gone from this offense.
That feels bad if you're Desperados. You get the pick onto a Lucio, you jump in, instantly get hit with EMP, and while you're running around with EMP effects still on you, all of a sudden Maze Blizzard comes out, freezes you in place. It was just so many tools they had to push through there, but they have all been now burned out from the Mongooses. Lime Drop is actually getting close to having another EMP though. Sombra's doing what Sombra is supposed to do, sitting on about 90% now.
It's all up to him for this next push. He had a really good EMP before. Let's see if he can do it again. The initiation coming in pretty soon. Winston not quite committing to that leap, but I'm sure he'll be doing it pretty soon. Doesn't commit again. This offense is pretty timid, but a double kill from the Tracer Pulse Bomb. That's huge, but a follow-up double kill from the Diva Bomb. This is absolutely insane. The EMP slows this down a decent amount as well, but Galaxy is going to push this offense into overdrive.
Actually do see the fact that it is being contested, slowly and steadily ticking up. About halfway to that first point, spawners are now starting to come in. Lafon is standing on the deep mag, trying to buy what time they can. Traffic cones on the backside. Line Drop is being forced back out, but spawners are coming in. Pills is now baking it back in as well. This is really where you have to see Desperados start getting those kills and getting everybody off of the point. They want to get that first third at least off of this push.
Not enough damage, though. They can't kill anybody. The May ultimate is just going to finish this up, as Freeze will wind up killing the Monkey and Diva Ultra. Not long for this life either. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I don't think they actually had to use the May ultimate there, but still, another EMP. They have it up once again. This is the strength of Sombra on defense, especially if you have a Sombra player like Lime Drop who can just always have the EMP up every fight.
Lime Drop is doing such a good job inside this. You know, always making sure the ult is up. Can't see anything coming out from Desperados. Anytime they try to get aggressive, they instantly eat that EMP into the face. And it just doesn't give them enough time to get the kills that are necessary. We're seeing Desperados get the kills come out, but due to the nature of how 2CP works, we're seeing the spawners come in last second and really manage to rally up from the defenders. And it's just got to be several clear, clean-cut kills and victories coming out from the side of attackers to get this point, or at least get a third of it claimed.
Like I said, they just don't have enough, not enough sustained damage, doesn't look like. So Sulking, he's very aggressive, didn't press shift in time either. This is it, Pulse Bomb though, it whiffs. Let's see what Sombra has. EMP needs to go off, like right now. There it is, cancels the Rocket Barrage, no abilities right now. Everyone's silenced. The Fraud, another double kill, a triple kill even with that self-destruct. He's been getting so many kills with that, but another Resurrect Galaxy every single time. Brings his team to full as they try to push this point, but can they put the damage out? They haven't been able to do it in the past. Can they do it this time?
Spawners are coming back in. You can see traffic cones now back inside the point. Lone Wolf Co is being frozen. Fawn is just in Baby Diva mech, or Baby Diva not having the mech at the direct time. Self-destruct is coming out, walled off, doesn't manage to get anything inside of it. It's just an absolute chaos fest. This has been a very long fight. 40 seconds left on the clock for the attackers, and they still haven't gotten near on anything.
They can't do it. They even popped the Transcendence, but it's not going to do anything. They'll just buy a little bit of extra time, and by buy time, I mean it'll be staggering time, as the Winston, as a result, it's going to take a long time to drop. 20 seconds left on the clock, and I don't even know if... the Winston will be back in time, but it'll be like a last-second thing.
Well, we're going to have to see that Desperados push in, and then Winston potentially catch up. Winston's going to spawn back in 9 seconds on this. Somebody from Desperados
needs to get
on this. You can see that it's going to be Wolford blinking on there. Did get in. Actually,
Pulse
also
bomb.
does get the Pulse Bomb. Gets a kill onto Lucio.
Ultra goes down. 2 kills already. Another EMP. May ultimate as well. Gets 2 freezes. 3 freezes. Takes out Lucio. But no conversion, actually. They didn't get the kill on Lucio. So here we go. The point is finally starting to tick up. They can't get a third yet, though. They need to kill these heroes that are on the point. And once again, just not enough damage as Pills jumps in on the Winston. And they need to find the shots right now. They need to focus fire. And Ultra on Soldier, I think, is going to be able to do it.
They're getting the kills. It is ticking up. Finally, in overtime, we're seeing halfway captured. Are we going to see 2/3 of it captured? The Fawn is back. Diva is flying around. Let's see, Galt has managed to make it back in. Slowly starting to tick this up, trying to fight to get that last third, but now Pills is back alive on the Winston. Kitsune cannot get off of this point. We are in now overtime. This has been an extremely long fight. If anybody from the attackers steps off of this game will be instantaneously over.
They need to kill Ultra right now. Ultra on that soldier is the main source of damage for the attacking team. If they can take out Ultra, they have a chance of retaking this point. Self-destruct by D.Va for the offense won't be doing any favors for this stalling team. An Invisible Sombra tries to stall it a little bit longer, but I think that this is finally starting to wear down. All we have left is a Lucio. We have a Mei now. She can stall out for a little bit longer. Oh, is she on the point? No, she's not. Okay.
She was not, but look at this. It's like 99% capped. Only thing that the defenders have to do is they have to stay on this. They have to get these kills now. It's 2 people off to the side. You can see that all of the attackers have stayed alive for so long and are killing every single one of these defenders as they're spawning in. Galt is now back in. Solo Man on this. He's going to go down. And with that, Desperados do manage to complete round 1.
Ultra swapping off to the soldier was huge there. Without that soldier, they wouldn't have had enough damage, because we saw that was their problem before. They didn't have enough damage to close the point out, and Ultra did an amazing job there.
I feel like I need a cigarette after that last stall.
That was like 2 minutes that we saw, and you have to give it to Desperados. That was that had to be wearing on their souls. Be like, oh my god, they're spawning in again. Oh my god, we're getting hit with another Mei Blizzard. Oh my god, it's another EMP. It's just getting hit with thing after thing. But they managed to fight through it at the very last second. Literally overtime is whenever they managed to make feet onto this and fight for 2 solid minutes to get the victory inside that and pull up the 2 points. Now it's on to Mongooses, though. They're really going to have their work cut out for them. We saw them not have the most strong first defense. So let's see how they come out with aggro. They had a great stall there towards the end on defense, but pressure's got to be on to Mongooses at this point, because now they know they need to get both points captured.
Well, let's see what they have here on the defense. This is a pretty standard defense, I would say. They have the Winston D.Va combo, Genji to shore up the flanks, the soldier for their primary form of damage. Ana will be their support. Be able to get the nanovisors off. Still a very strong combination.
I really like to see positioning of different teams and how they choose to set up for defense around this point. See, Wolfer is off on the side on this little raised pavilion over here. Meanwhile, we've got Pray for GG's holding the opposite side of it. And Kitsune Kira is hanging up over here on this Winston, right on this like nice little ledge, getting ready to jump in, do what Winstons do, just booty bop somebody as he's falling in on them. Here we go. Doors are now open. Attackers are now coming in. Son of Selkie is sitting on Farah.
Oh, Traffic Cone gets knocked out very early on, walking up that lane. And so it'll be difficult to push in without their Zenyatta. Zenyatta is one of the major contributors of damage for this attacking team. Of course, Sombra, Sombra doesn't do the most. Farah does an okay amount, but they don't really have any super hard, crazy DPS here for the attackers. That Zenyatta really essential to finish these players off. But here we go, the dive in. Winston jumps in. Lots of players on this point already. Ultra needs to be careful. There's a lot of damage on him. Sombra as well. A 1v1 up top. This is a real bloodbath. As Son of a Selkie actually is the first one to drop first blood on himself.
Well, I'm shooting at a D.Va right on top of him, so the explosion just ate him up. It was a good job by Lone Wolf, really living up to his name, being by himself right on top of that Farah, managing to make sure it couldn't get anything off. Lime drops the last one really left on this point, gonna get shot up, and with that, it's a nice solid hold coming out from Desperado. Son of a Selkie alive, trying to fire some rockets up the side. Thinking better of it though, saying, that's a little bit too much damage for me. Let me just retreat back off. And with this, Lone Wolf and Wolfer are doing a really good job on the defense there. And I just want to say Lone Wolf, just it's fun to say those two names together.
To regroup, Sombra has an EMP. Let's see what she decides to do with it. I could easily break this point wide open. They have the Angry Monkey as well. Zenyatta ult also, why not? That can counter the Nanovisor very effectively.
Here we go. On the EMP, but you're seeing a really spread out defense coming out from Desperado. it's going to be really hard for Lime Drop to actually hit everybody with an EMP. You're going to have to choose targets and make sure to get the priority targets. Doing a sprint up to the side, and looks like that could be your target location.
Remember, when you're spread out, though, you become more vulnerable to these flanking heroes. A nice sleep, so the attackers no longer have a Winston. He is slept. EMP hits a ton of heroes. Ana gets taken out very early on. There's no Ana for the defenders now. That's their main form of defense. Let's see if Wolfer can get any kills with this visor. He already gets one. Can he get two, though? Doesn't look like it. He's in trouble. The angry Winston has him in a corner. He goes down. Pills. Nice kill by him. Although, looks like the defenders, they have an angry monkey as well in Kitsune. Let's see what the self-destruct gets. It's dangerous, but nimbly evaded here by the attackers.
It's a good job on them just slamming up against that wall, using a little bit of positioning to stay alive inside this. See that everybody from Mongoose is starting to spawn back in. We're starting to see more and more people come in. A Diva with Nano Boost right now is just strolling through, doing the best Ed 209 impression she can, trying to take down Son of Selkie. Pushed a lot of people off of that point, man, but not really getting anything there. Finally, we see a stalwart defense come through, and a minute is left on the clock.
1 minute left. That's like one push remaining. Lime Drop will have another EMP available. Let's see if he can get another good one. He got a decent one last time, but just not enough damage to follow up on it. We also see that Lime Drop is now playing Genji. Although it's a bit late to be playing Genji, as 40 seconds won't be enough for him to get Blade.
Depends on what they're trying to do. I think that they're leaning into trying to get this and hoping that Genji can provide them the tools to get in the second point. Trying to fast push this as quick as they can. 20 seconds now. Son of Selkie and Lime Drop are pushing up the side and do manage to get the Ana.
All right, so no Ana. That's a big pickup, as we said before, but still, there's a soldier. This soldier, Wolfer, is very, very crucial. Already a lot of kills, though, by the attackers. Very quickly in this game. Lone Wolf pops the self-destruct. Let's see what this can get. It'll buy a lot of time, at least. Wolfer with this attack visor, he needs to get a lot with this. It's still active. The loose tier barrier will counter it, though. And
we are now in overtime.
Attackers have a good hold on this, I think, but still.
Seeing everybody from the attackers, spawners are starting to come back in. Pray for GG's. Ana has managed to make it back inside this fight. Kitsune Kira is doing a good job on just getting a lot of cleave damage onto so many people right now. Everybody was grouped up around that fountain.
Galaxy also just tearing it up. That was phenomenal. And just like that, I mean, I've got to say the Mongooses, they had some good pushes there, but Desperados, they came back every single time.
That was just a great hold coming out from Desperados. Whenever you saw so many people from Desperados go down so early, it really came down to just a few of them to stay on point, see what they could do. And I have to say, Lone Wolf really did a great job inside there. Surviving long enough for the rest of the team to come in and reinforce it. And with all of the matches and all of the fights that we had, Kit's actually getting the play of the game in their attack phase earlier. Look at this. We were talking about the cleave damage that he got on that last point of defense. Apparently, he was getting a lot of it on attack as well.
So with that, the Desperados are up 1-0.
24 enemies EMP'd by Lime Drop there.
Oh, it hurts my soul. Oh my gosh. That just hurts. That's like essentially it's 4 teams. He hit everybody 4 team fights, just full on like you just don't get to play Overwatch today. So we are going to be moving into our second game match, which will be between Dorado and Watchpoint Gibraltar. And neither of these maps we have seen so far, so I'm kind of excited about it either way. We've got the Demon Arch that is the first point inside of Dorado, or we have the Hangar phase inside Gibraltar. Both are fun to really watch, especially after watching the so much fun that is the Lobby of Anubis.
Looks like we will be getting Dorado. And, well, Dorado is certainly a very technical map. It requires a lot of teamwork, a lot of strategy and planning. So we'll have to see which team comes out on top. Both these teams look like they're very scrappy, fighty types of teams. So we might see some difficulty getting through the first archway here on Dorado.
The first archway is just such an interesting point inside of it. There's not a lot of things that are similar to it inside of Overwatch. Just how the payload moves through it. It takes up so much space inside that archway. You can make it really hard for attackers to come through or defenders to push through. But one of the coolest things I think about Dorado and holding around that arch is seeing defenders hold that first point up on top where they're just kind of on like that, I guess, on top of the house, and you can see the entirety of that first walkway as the payload comes around, and then seeing them retreat back to defend the archway. If done well, you can net so many kills and almost guarantee at least a good 20 or seconds extra on defense there. If done poorly, you give up your defense of that archway, and you can essentially sacrifice the game, that section of the game.
Oh yeah, it's so easy on Dorado to just get totally wiped in the first section.
So with this, it looks like everybody is getting up, doing a quick bathroom break. So I have to say, we're seeing a lot of nice plays coming out inside of here. Desperados are really coming up to show that they're here to fight. Mongooses is one of the names that we've known for quite a while, as we were talking about beforehand. So Desperados looking to come in and really make a name for themselves. And to be honest, they've been quite impressive. Temple of Anubis was really well done on their part.
Yeah, they had a couple. I thought that their pushes were pretty strong. It was just that the Mongooses had an equally strong defense. They're a little bit late on the damage, but they solved that, and then their defense was rock solid as well. So can't wait to see what they have here in Dorado. I've got to say, the Mongooses, they, like I said before, they seemed like they reveled more in the scrappier fighty fights.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have to see if they can get past the Demon Archers. They get to defend it first, though.
I'm kind of curious if we're going to see Lime Drop staying on this Sombra and living on it for the entirety of Temple of Anubis. So we'll have to see if maybe this will just be something that they're really leaning into and they feel it is a big part of Mongoose's strategy, or will we see Lime Drop try to pull out something different? I mean, you see Pharmacy really strong in this first point. Flankers are really strong. Genji Tracer, Sombra can have different problems depending on different approach paths. Just because while you can turn invisible, there's not a lot of real ways to play around this horrible, horrible archway that give you a lot of benefit with some visibility, except for potentially throwing your translocator over the back wall and then sneaking up behind everything.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing a Sombra this time around. Sombra is certainly, I think Sombra could definitely work on defense, but it's certainly something that's not very favored. It's not as consistent as you see on Temple of Anubis. I think is like her premier map on defense.
It's definitely strong. And here we go. Lime Drop is bringing out... Oh, Lime Drop is just like my nightmare it is. Lime Drop has switched over from Sombra to Mei. Like,
oh God,
you're an evil person,
guy.
Lime Drop. You are an evil, evil person.
What a guy.
But here we go. Looks like all of our defenders have rallied up. You can see Pills is up in that upper area I was talking about, hanging out with Son of a Self-Use running Hanzo. Hanzo's a very interesting point choice on this because you can use the dragons as ultimate specifically really nice in this location. Just due to the compressed nature of how this archway comes through, you can get some really good arrows through as well. It's a very predictable pathing, and whenever you know predictable pathing and how people are going to be coming in, Hanzo does have strength there. It's only whenever chaos happens and everybody's coming from different directions that Hanzo damage.
Dang, he just wiped out Ultra. It's just tore his head straight off. That's a big opening pick. Really, this defense, they can be aggressive. They can go and just kill the aggressors now because there's no Genji anymore. But choosing to still play a little bit passively, Diva, played by Lone Wolf, went up, tried to get a little bit of a poke out, but as a result, gets frozen and knocked out. Meanwhile, up on top, the Winston player for the attackers, Kitsune, he takes out the Hanzo, jumps on, takes out the Ana as well with the help of his trusty duo, Tracer, and the attackers looking pretty strong now.
Look at this. The payload has managed to make its way through this arch. That fight was happening so far back. Desperados are slowly trying to get more and more pushing space inside of here. They managed to buy this through that they can get one of the rougher parts of the attacking phase inside of Dorado. But look at this. Finally, we're seeing defense come through, and no. Wolfer says Pulse Bomb right on top of that Reinhardt. They finish it off. Traffic Cone sitting on the backside of it. Son of a Self are now having to deal with a lot of these flankers that are coming in on them.
So the defense, they still have a Mei. If she gets her ultimate, anything's possible, really. Now she's in the back line. Let's see if she can freeze someone. There is a Zenyatta waiting for her, like, ready and waiting to get frozen, pretty much. But I don't think that Lime sees him, as Lime will get taken out. All we have left is Traffic Cone now, playing Lucio. He's going to go down as well. I think with that, this point might just be done. Yeah, the defenders, they're not going to even defend that. just standing back and trying to set up for the second point. So Mongooses, they need to put in some work. 4 minutes 30 on the clock. That's not a good enough defense if they keep that up in Dorado.
And this is going to roll into a little bit of a situational problem. You can see Mongooses are trying to get their defense set up, but they couldn't get to this upper walkway right on top of the courthouse. LeBron can get up there, but that's really about it. Hills was coming down to try to defend point A and took a different pathing, so he couldn't make it back up to the top up there. That's going to allow everybody from Desperados to get control of this high ground and just fire down. You can see Wolfer's up here now. Wolfer and Lone Wolf, that always just, I'm never going to get tired of saying that, but just make it fun.
Dragon Blade from Ultra takes out Anna. Now, there was a Lucio barrier. That's going to be able to negate it a little bit, but still, Lucio goes down. No supports, no healing, but Lime Drop with a triple freeze from his ultimate might just save this point. Ultra, though, is going absolutely insane. That being said, a one-man army isn't usually enough in Overwatch, and so Son of a Selkie takes him out. Regardless, triple kill, though, by that Genji.
And we do see Son of Selkie has gotten position in this upper courthouse. So he's going to be able to use his McCree, fire down into everybody. And look at this. Galaxy just jumps straight on the payload. Everybody from Desperado says, no, you don't get to control this high ground, and jumps straight up there.
All right, Angry Monkey. Trying to do some stuff in the back line. Can't quite find anything. He's pretty low on health. Goes down. Self-destruct. Very dangerous. Still, though, doesn't quite find anything except for the enemy Diva mech. Ultra is anti-healed, in a bit of danger. Manages to get away, though. The attacker is pushing through slowly but steadily. Not making any huge plays, but just making good enough plays to slowly get that edge. Lime Drop has swapped off with Farah, but not very long for this life, as the cart will push into the third section with 4 minutes left on the clock.
One of the big things that Desperados is doing that's so influential inside of this round is they're having fights break out so far away from the payload and allowing Zenyatta and Galaxy to just kind of hang out back there and slowly push it forward. You can see Galaxy will come forward to heal some people, but look how far forward this fight's happening. It's allowing Brave for GG to just hang out right next to the payload and slowly push it through, so that way it's never getting contested. That's why we're seeing such a fast push come out.
Well, I've been slowed down a little bit. Prey gets a kill onto Lime Drop, though, which is going to help them out a little bit more. I mean, the defenders have let this cart push quite a ways. I think that Mongooses, they're afraid to go aggro on defense. Zenyatta pops the Transcendence. Let's see what the Blade gets. There's a Lucio barrier to negate a little bit of it. And indeed, Ultra doesn't get any value out of the Blade as a result. Son of a Selkie kills the Lucio, but it is a trade. Right now, this is really scrappy. The Lime Drop, I think, is in a good position to clean this fight up on Farah.
And we're seeing just a nice solid defense now finally coming through for Mongooses. This is what they needed. They really needed to get their feet back underneath of them. 3 minutes are now on the clock for Desperados. Very strong push already coming through, almost all the way underneath this little bridge here for the defenders. Ultra's coming in real strong along with Wolfer. Galaxy's backing up from them. Trying to look around and see if they're choosing this path. I think that they're going to go around the long side of this, but they're going to run right into Lime Drop's Farah.
Lime Drop has the rocket barrage in this little tiny corridor. The Diva can save them, but Diva has no more juice. Oh no, they need to be so careful of Lime Drop. Lime Drop can just dive, can just jump in at any time with the rocket barrage, but still, there are not a lot of defenders alive. I think the Lime Drop was a little bit late to the, I think he had to pop that rocket barrage a little bit sooner, so this part will approach the end. I don't know if there's anyone here to actually stop it, besides the Winston.
We're seeing a lot of body blocks come in. Pills does get the nano boost and is looking for some cleave damage coming inside this, living right on top of the cart. But it's just him, and everybody's pushing him away. Lime Drop's trying to make it in. He's going to get taken down as well. This cart's going to come in. 2 minutes on the clock.
Ooh,
really nice last push from Desperados. Playing around their strengths without a doubt.
They're in a really fantastic position to take this match right now.
Because they already got the first win on Temple of Anubis. So pressure's on to Mongooses. Now they have to do a full completion on this. And remember, they got full held on Temple of Anubis on the first point. So they have to be feeling they have to be fighting through. They want to get this. Mongooses are going to be trying something risky, I'm going to say. Bring out something new. You can see that they're looking at bringing out some Selkie on Hanzo. They have to try to figure out what's not working. And I think it's the fact that how Desperados fights so far away from payload. you need to see Mongooses just really rally together. It seems like they lean into much more of a death ball approach and playing off of each other instead of how we're seeing Desperados come in with these nice flanks, these nice plays. And Wolfer, are you really going to bring that out?
Desperado certainly has done a better job at the 1v1s, the small skirmishes, the 2v2s, and keeping the Mongooses off of those 6-man team fights. Mongooses now, they're attacking, so they're a bit more in the driver's seat now. They can decide when and where the fights happen. Let's see if that helps them out a little bit more with their preferred style.
We're seeing a dive defense coming out from Desperados. Not running the Reinhardt that's traditional up top to try to like shoot down inside there. They're opting into just trying to catch whoever they can. And look how far forward they're playing this. This is a really interesting defensive strategy that they could be trying to bring out here. Could be waiting for the payload to come around instead of defending that upper area. Instantly jump down. Like there is this path that you can take from back behind here that goes right to the spawn doors, usually used by the attackers to come through. The way they're positioned, the defenders might use it.
I wonder what they're going to do with it. Because this is something you don't see. Like, this is strange. And you have the soldier actually going up on top, so he's like bait. So the soldier, I mean, he's pretty lucky that they're not running dive, or else he would be dead. But the soldier is baiting. You see those players still sitting? Okay, so here we go, busting out of the door. They did lose their soldier as a result, the defenders, but let's see if it'll pay off. Man, it doesn't look like it as Ultra gets taken out. Pills, charges. Taking out Galaxy as well, no Ana either, and well, that was a strategy, but the strategy doesn't look like it paid off as the attackers roll through pretty easily.
It was an interesting concept, but I think that the execution just came down at the exact wrong time. You can see that Wolfer was playing a little bit forward, trying to bait them in, and did a little too good job being bait, and instantly got taken out. Spawners are now coming back for Desperados. Looks like they're thinking about trying to contest this. Still going to be on Kitsune. He does manage to make it in and stop the payload, and this is going to be where the fight starts up.
All right, Kitsune jumps in. He's on Pill, though. Reinhardt not like the most optimal target for him. Can't quite get onto the back line. Traffic cone on Lucio doing a good job healing for his backline friends with the boop, with the Sonic Blast. Now, the attackers, they're playing pretty far back. Looks like the Mongooses are rather scared, as they should be, of this divey composition. Great grenade hits 2, resulting in Wolfer going down. Galaxy, who's hit as well. This blade by Ultra needs to go big. He needs to kill the son of a Selkie. He does. There's no Hanzo anymore. That's a big part of the damage for this defending team, but not a lot of defenders left, as it's just this angry Winston. He has an Ana on him. Now there's a D.Va as well. She managed to get back into the mech. But is there enough damage to finish this off? As the attackers Lime drop, he's going to find his own blade.
Cart is right now 0.87 meters. The defenders have to just live right on top of it. That's going to be Kitsune's job, and got booped off. Managed to make it back in. Galaxy covered this. It's just going to be, oh, but he jumps up into the air to try to reload, and whenever he jumped up into the air, it pushed out of the payload's positioning. They now managed to claim that. 4 minutes and 20 seconds are now on the clock. Ultra is trying to come up, getting some control over this top area, but we're seeing the Mongooses take a play out of Desperado's book, coming real far forward inside this, trying to get some control over the street space. But they're starting to back up as now Lone Wolf, Wolfer, and Ultra are coming back up and getting control over this upper ground.
Okay, so now the Desperados, they have control over the high ground. Here we go, diving off. Wolfer has Nano Visor. They just want to clean this up. They want to completely break the momentum of the attackers, because the attackers, well, they've been kind of rolling over this the entire time. They're successful. So that's a play that really, you see teams do it. Technically, it's not efficient. They waste their ultimates. On defense, you don't want to be proactive with your ultimates, but what it does do is, in this situation, when the attackers have so much momentum, you haven't been able to stop them yet, just getting that mortal victory and of stopping them usually is enough to give your team a decent advantage. But Zarya ultimate will kick things off here.
Oh, and a Zarya ultimate coupled in with the Twin Dragons. They do go a little wide as there was a separation time between the two of them. So this is going to block off that self-destruct, and we have fights that are happening on 3 to 4 different locations. We're on the payload. Wolfer's holding the upper ground. Everybody's trying to fire off, but it looks like Lone Wolf does manage to get down Son of a Selkie, so it's going to be a big DPS point now.
Yeah, Son of a Selkie on that Hanzo, doing such a good job at putting out damage, but Lime Drop, he's maybe taking up the torch here as he gets a kill onto the D.Va, diving in fearlessly into the rest of the team. Right now he's 1v1ing Ultra, his mirror counterpart in the enemy Genji. Wolf, you're still on the high ground right now, though. You know, that's what this Genji needs to do. Lime Drop, he needs to harass this soldier, perhaps even kill him. He has the blade. Lime Drop, maybe he can kill this kill. If Wolfer dies, that's a huge blow to this defending team. Can Wolfer get away? That's the question. He's in trouble. Galaxy's here. He already used the boop.
Does manage to get 2 kills based off of that. With this, the points going to start moving that direction again. But oh, it gets stopped by Kitsune again. But it's not going to be much. Ultra is just running right into a whole bunch of hammer swings. Lone Wolf's getting taken out as well, so that's going to be the point flipping over. 3 minutes and 30 seconds are what Mongooses have to work with. Remember, Desperados do have 1 win already. We're playing in a best of 3, so they need to full complete this round and still have plenty of time to work with, see how much distance that they can get. Doors are now opening up. Tills is the front end of this, just shielding off everybody, and let's see what the defenders try to bring out inside of it. Ultra's playing off to the side, and looks like they're leaning into this upper balcony to where they're wanting to set their defense at.
Ultra off play once again, trying to cull the momentum that this attacking team has. Not doing as good of a job this time. They take out the Ana, which is a pretty key player. Traffic cone as well, so there's no healer anymore. Without a healer, this attacking team can't really do too much. So the tide will be turned yet again. 2 minutes 48 seconds on the clock. This is another very fast take here from the Mongooses. Not quite as fast, it looks like. They still need to push through.
Well, I think a big part of that comes down to Desperado's interesting, very first defense. But it kind of lost them a lot of the good defendable locations inside Desperado, specifically in point A, just kind of giving up that archway. So we're seeing 2 minutes on the clock. Imagine if we saw a more standardized defense coming out now. Let's see what we're going to get as everybody is starting to jump in. We have a nano boosted soldier on the background.
Got a decent amount of value, and now Ultra is chasing down the rest. Almost gets a kill in this Zarya. Finished it off. Reinhardt as well. And there we go. They are officially ahead in time bank now as the time ticks down to 2 minutes. Now we're down to the 1 minute seconds as well. So really, we're talking 4 pushes. 4 pushes left. It's a depend. I think 3 pushes left here for the offense. They need to take pretty much this next one. If they don't, they're looking at a real difficult time winning the next round if the map resets.
We did see the Desperados did manage to rally in an infinite overtime there. It was about 2 minute overtime. So let's see if the Mongooses can try to make the same repeat. They're trying to get this first fight coming out, and Kitsune is blowing the ultimate, Primal Raging, looping everybody all over the place.
Kitsune not able to get too much value out of it. Oh, he's on the Ana actually. He finishes her off. That's a pretty good pickoff at the end. Looks like the defenders, they have this once again. The Mongooses, they need to kick this into serious overdrive right now. And in fact, I think Pills, they're trying to stagger Pills, and they did it. Oh, Pills, he gets staggered a good 15 seconds out. That's going to turn 2 pushes into maybe just 1.
That couple with Son of Selkie going down. It's a third of their team that is now having to wait for spawns. This could make this the last push that's coming out for the attackers. And they still have quite a ways that they have to push this cart. About halfway through stage 3. They still have to make it around, I guess, the second turn, the third turn, and then finally do the last push in. They're opting into going through this back path, though, to give them the possibilities for it. Grabton starts coming out.
D.Va self-destruct. Defensive takes out Lafon, but still the Dragon Blade Zarya ultimate combo going huge there. Okay, but still, there's enough time for the defenders to get back. They shouldn't panic. Lone Wolf shouldn't kill himself here. He should probably just get back, save himself. Anna doing a good job healing him up. Ultra has the blade. Nano Visor as well. This is a lot of value. Nano Visor gets Earth Setter though, so he couldn't get too much out of it. He managed to line drop and Hanzo. Ultra's gonna finish this off for the blade, and I think with the Mongooses, I don't think that they can do it. Desperado will be taking the match once they can take care of this last D.Va.
One's coming in. Son of Selkie coming in as Tracer. It's just lambs to the slaughter at this point. Everybody's just running into ultimate after ultimate. Drops trying to make it in. He gets eaten by 1 as well, and there's the hold. Desperados win this 2-0 against Mongooses, and a very great defense coming out, and a very strong attack coming in on Temple of Anubis.
Wow, I've got to say, Desperado, they've just been rock solid this entire time. You know, I think that these teams are about even in terms of raw fighting potential, but Desperado does not ever give an inch. They just keep at it. They don't lose their morals at all.
Epic.
I'm just doing my job.
Well, that just seems to fit in with how Desperados is playing in general. On attack, they were separating out, forcing multiple fights in different locations. In defense, they were doing the same thing. They kind of worked into like a little battle buddy system where they would pull apart and really just force mongooses to fight on different points. There were several points we saw that while the mongooses were on attack, there was nobody even on the payload because they got so pulled apart.
Absolutely, and that is, like you said, the difference. I don't see much to separate these teams in terms of just raw frag out ability, but it's all about, like you said, the tactics and the teamwork.
Without a doubt. And much respect to Desperados. They came out and played a fantastic game. I'm still getting over that like 2.5 to 3 minute attack that they got where they held through like what, probably 10 waves of spawners on Temple of Anubis. That was just absolutely insane.
Oh my gosh.
That was one of the longest staggers I think I've seen even on that point.
And for Temple of Anubis, that says something because
Yeah.
it's Stagger Central. That's what it is.
Absolutely. And with that win, Desperados goes on to the semifinals of Bracket B. And the semifinals and finals of each bracket are going to be cast next week, July 15th. So be sure to join us back here for those. Some of these teams that you've seen today might see again.
Here's hoping. And I've had a whole bunch of fun casting with you two guys tonight. And I hope that Twitch chat has enjoyed it as well. We thank everybody for participating in this. It's absolutely great to be a part of a community such as this, especially as people are coming together, making these teams, coming through. Definitely want to thank everybody inside of Twitch for giving them their support and all of the admins and everybody that works back behind this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great fun to stream this for you guys, especially the one match where I couldn't get the team names quite right, switching back and forth.
Hey, these things happen. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. I just had a lot of fun talking about all the random things that we got to do during the pauses. Like, we got to go on Game of Thrones rants. I don't ever think I'm going to look at Temple of Anubis the same way. I'm always going to see it as the lobby of Anubis now.
Absolutely. I was saving the barbecue chat just in case we had another long pause.
But one last thing I want to say thanks to is all of the people that played today. It takes a lot of courage to come out and play on stream for people and really try to show what you've got. They should get lots of respect for just coming out and competing in an event like this and trying their best to get better and trying to play in the style of team environment. It's totally different than what you see and just like going hopping in quick play or ranked. It's a different environment, different strategies, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. As we saw that interesting hold that we saw in Dorado there didn't really hold too much, but it was an interesting concept and worth executing. So much respect to everybody that played today.
That being said, thank you all for coming and watching. It's been a real blast for me as well. I think with that being said, we'll see you guys next week for the semi and grand finals of Overwatch University League Season 2.
Absolutely.